There you go. The Rolling Stones to start off the show today. That's the song that ends the 7-5, a great documentary. Did you see that one, Vic Henley? The 7-5?
I did not see the 7-5.
I finally saw the 7-5. We had Steve Dowd on the radio show. I wasn't here that day, and I finally, over break, saw the 7-5 about police corruption back in the late 80s, early 90s, right? In Brooklyn, the 7-5 precinct. And, Steve Dowd was a naughty cop. And Jim Norton got to meet him and, interview him. It was, I heard it was a great interview on this channel.
I was in L.A., I think, when that Rampart scandal broke. You know that one? I don't know if there's been a film about it. That was a station. It was a whole station. Rampart was the station.
Okay.
And same thing. They found out that there'd just been the 30-year fix going on, Ponzi scheme of corruption and evil and everything. Yeah, and it was terrible.
We were talking about the 7-5 real fast and how you were lucky to interview Steve Dowd. I wasn't in that day, and I was so bummed because we started with the Stones. That's the song that ends the documentary as the credits roll.
I forget who else was in that day. It was
good.
I don't remember.
You did a great job with that damn thing.
Oh,
and Steve Dowd wants to come back now because I kind of tweeted at him saying, "Holy shit." And I said I was bummed I wasn't here when you came in. And he's like, "Well, I'll come back just to hang with you guys." I'm like, "Great."
Yeah,
and then he won't leave me alone. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to Florida. I'll hit you up when I come back to New York."
Yeah, he was very, very naughty.
He was very naughty. That's it.
Very naughty.
He was the bad lieutenant. He was Harvey Keitel.
Really was, man. Yeah.
I'm amazed he only got 12 years. Why did he only get 12 years? I don't want the guy to get more than 12 years. He seems kind of likable.
Did he testify?
I was going to say he must have rolled on enough people,
or at least just giving up something. Yeah.
Well, a lot of that documentary, he's in front of a committee. It seems like, but he's not throwing anyone else under the bus.
Oh, well.
He kept most of it to himself.
Well, that might not have made the final cut of the documentary as well.
Yeah, and his partner.
They are films.
His partner in that documentary goes, I wish I'd never met Steve Dowd. And they had a good run together. And then Steve Dowd is a trip because then I was looking on his Twitter and he tweets to that guy because that guy blocked him on Twitter. His old partner blocked him on Twitter.
He did. After saying he would wish he'd never met him in the documentary, wouldn't you block him?
He basically goes, first, I go to jail because of you, because I guess, didn't he turn? His partner turned a bit?
Maybe he did. I don't remember. It's been a while.
His partner didn't do any jail time. And Steve Dowd goes, first, I go to prison because of you, and now you block me on Twitter. Well, no, Steve Dowd.
Michael Dowd.
Michael Dowd.
You know why I'm thinking? You know why?
Sure.
Thank you. Yes, of course it's Michael Dowd. I apologize.
I didn't catch it.
It's Michael Dowd. I want to say that a few times. I have Steve Avery on my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs.
And Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Yes. Of course it's Michael Dowd. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, that's how we start today.
Remember the drug deal? The thing with them, though, there was that one drug deal that just disappeared off the streets.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we knew. They never went and said we went and got him for someone else. But I think they probably had something to do with that, too.
I think
they can't say it because there's no statute of limitations on murder.
I gotta say, I kind of understand the position those cops were in back in the day, especially, and probably to this day. They don't make a lot of money. I know a lot of cops. You know a lot of cops. These guys work pretty fucking hard, and they don't get a huge salary.
They're overpaid. That's what I say. Overpaid and spoiled.
Underworked, overappreciated, and overpaid. Absolutely, brats.
I think your morality's got to be squeaky clean. It's got to be perfect, because then you go into some of these houses and you're the guy in charge, and it's just you and your partner, and you and your partner are on the same page, and then you see a duffel bag full of money, and you know how much money you're making on the job. That is tough not to take a taste.
That's right. Yeah, you would think that's the victimless crime. You would just think, how are they going to know? It's me. I'm the one that fills out the form that says how much drug money was confiscated. 100 grand. Well, okay, could have been 150, and you got 25 each in your pocket. How's anyone hurt during doing that?
And they explain it in the 7-5. They're like, weren't you scared they were going to report it? Like a drug dealer is going to report that $100,000 is missing? Of course not.
Right, and then explain to the IRS how he got it.
Yeah.
That's a no lose.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying.
So how do you not?
I don't know.
How do you not?
I agree.
It's got to be so freaking tough.
Yeah, I'd be too weak. I'd be weak.
That makes guys like Serpico even more amazing. Like, how the fuck did you in that time, when things weren't as monitorable as they are now, say no to everything? I don't get it.
I'm just saying it's got to be tough. You go back to your family on Long Island, you're struggling, you got a car payment, you got a mortgage, you got 2-3 kids. Your wife's working a second job just to make ends meet, and you walk into one of these houses, and there's kilos
it's a weed house. Make it easy.
Right.
Make it even harmless. It's just 4 stoners that you just had to roust off a couch and take them out to the paddy wagon because they forgot to close the door and you smelled their grow house. Okay, now you got a bale of weed that you got to turn it all in, and you can't put 10 grand in your pocket for just. And
Michael Dowd, how he turns his partner was great in the documentary where he handed him the $100, said, this is for you. He was just giving him a tiny little taste to see where his head was at. And, wow, the 7.5 is just amazing.
Yeah, it was a great documentary. I mean, it's been probably a year since we had
Was it about a year?
I want to say that. Travis, do you remember when it was? It was a while ago.
I can check 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but then the other thing, and then we can move on. Then the guys are in, like Michael Dowd is in, he's making so much money, and you just sit there watching going, okay, you have enough, stop.
Yeah.
But then he decides he's going to start dealing coke on Long Island. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
You don't have to be proactive about robbing houses. Just wait till it comes to you.
Right.
You get greedy.
Yeah, and then he drove his, what was the car? The Corvette?
Yeah, he got some fancy sports car.
Right. Everybody that was kind of knew what Michael Dowd was up to, he bought a brand new Corvette. He's like, do not drive that to work. And then I think they said in the 7.5 that his wife,
get it.
The wife had his car. No, the wife he usually drove his wife's car in, but she needed her car that day. So he said, fuck it. He drives a brand new Corvette to the 7.5. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right, gets out in his pimp mink coat full length.
It's like, you got this. Just stay calm and just go away now. You don't need more.
Take a taxi to work. Travis said May, right? About 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because back then, man, they could still get you, but they couldn't. Every cell phone, there was no cell phone. Every call wasn't monitored. There wasn't dash cams. There was all this stuff that just didn't,
Yeah, if they could check your bank accounts. That doesn't mean you didn't have the shoebox full of cash in your closet. I like Goodfellas.
If you're picking off the pile, it's a little different than now. It's even harder to do that because where do you put the money?
Yeah. Well, what you do is you get just a basic house in the suburbs, but let's just say I've been in one of these houses over the years, and it's just a normal house. And then you walk in and you're like, holy shit.
They'd have to come here to find this out.
You pimp out the house. Let's just say I've seen one or two of these in my day.
Some nice things, very subtly.
You don't do anything stupid and get a brand new mansion.
No.
Yes. You keep your regular house, but you got the best sound system, the best TV, the best appliances.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Nice.
I would have solid gold roof shingles.
You'd be like the guy sitting in wine in the Lotto commercial. Have you seen there's a New York Lotto commercial where he's just in a tub of wine. They're just pouring bottles of it, and he jumps up and yells at the guy for throwing a Cabernet in with the Merlot. I can't sit for this. Solid gold roof shingles.
What happens, you think, guys? Like the greed just gets to you, and you just need more and more and more.
Yeah,
and you're getting away with it, so it's the combo. I would.
You're a cop making shitty money, and then you figure out a way. Okay, I am now making nice cash. I would think. I don't know. I think if I was in that position, I'd be like, all right, I think this is good enough, because I would be too paranoid that door is going to be, knocked down any day, and I'm going to be dragged away.
I think it's also your level of what feels good changes. Yeah. It's almost like how people get fat. Like you eat 2 cookies and one day that was good, and then the next time it's like, no, man, I need 1 more cookie, 3 more cookies. There never becomes a moment where you're like, that's enough stolen money.
Yeah.
It's just because there's always more to be found, and you get addicted to having $3,000 a week. It's like, well, now $4,000 a week is what I need. Mm-hmm. It's probably really hard to go back on that.
I can't wait to meet Michael Dowd, though.
And the wife, I'm sure she's loving life.
Sure.
Right? Is she in there anywhere? You can't say she's going, oh no, don't do that. We need to, if she's riding around in a brand new Corvette looking good, getting to do anything she wants, I'm sure she's not yelling at him.
She comes across that she was a bit worried. Oh, wait, no, I don't
remember her at all.
I don't think Michael Dowd's wife was in the documentary. It was the other partner. His partner's wife was in the doc. Yes.
All right.
So, anyway, I saw the 7.5. I loved it. Michael Dowd, yes. Like I said, I got Stephen Avery on my fucking mind like everyone else.
Yeah.
Stephen Avery is, How many episodes?
I told you I was 6.
6 episodes into Making a Murderer?
Just finished the 6th one. Yeah,
Where are we
yesterday.
At? Where are we at after 6? I'm trying to remember.
He's there.
The blood vial?
Yeah. After somewhere in there.
Are they speculating whether or not he was dating Mary Magdalene yet? Fuck with this guy.
Speculating. They've got him. There's a video of them having dinner. They're having dinner at the Jerusalem Olive Garden.
The blood vial reveal is one of the greatest moments in I don't know, movie history, where you just sit there and go, get the fuck out of here.
And the attorney Colin is just ecstatic. He's so happy.
Yes.
He's like, you're not going to believe it. But then, a half hour later, he's like, well, I was really happy that day. Turns out it didn't matter.
Here's my first question for Making a Murderer. So the blood vial, the defense attorney finds this the old evidence of blood from Steve Avery from the rape. The rape allegation.
The fake rape conviction.
Yeah. And then he realizes the seal's busted. He opens it up, and then there's the vial, and there's a hole in the top of this thing. So he's like, "Oh my God, this proves that the police planted the blood in the car, right?" Mm-hmm. My question is this: they never explained why that wasn't the case in the documentary.
Why why that needle was there, or why the hole was there?
Yeah, why the hole was there.
Well, they explained why they probably didn't know. The evidence was they did that one test where they could detect preservatives.
Yeah.
And there were no preservatives in it. And of course the defense has to question the test.
Yeah.
But the test did help the prosecution. And
that's where I'm at right now. They're trying to, because the defense is going they failed every test so far, but now they want extra time to create a new test.
And they created a new test.
Right, he was already so that's where that one ends with them shooting holes in that, saying that's horrifically unfair.
The only other time they did that test supposedly was the OJ trial or something like that.
I don't remember.
He
says not 100%. They couldn't. You missed the part, Vic, where there's a video of him raping and killing the girl. They show you that in the last one.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I didn't mean to spoil it.
Spoiler.
They at the end they just go, oh yeah, and then there's this.
Ricky Gervais just tweeted. About a week ago, actually. I thought it was.
It's good. But
never mind an Emmy or an Oscar. Making a Murderer deserves a Nobel Prize.
Oh God,
the greatest documentary I've ever seen.
No. It is a great documentary, but as it wore on, I started to get annoyed with it. But not because I don't think they're bad filmmakers, but I started to think I'm not convinced of this guy's innocence in his second murder. It just started to annoy me.
I'm not convinced anymore either.
It reminds me of all the ones I've seen before that I don't like. The Memphis 3, The Lost Paradise. There's 3 of those. Those 2-hour movies, 3 of those over a 10, 12-year period. And I told you before we started, Hope, the Thin Blue Line is the first one that I saw.
Wait, the West Memphis guys, sorry, but you think those guys, I actually thought those guys were guilty at first, and then I thought they were innocent.
Right, exactly. No, it takes you the same roller coaster. Okay. This thing, if you're going to invest 6 hours, the first one ends with you going, oh my God, they didn't do it. It's his stepdad that did it. Killed one of the murdered children. The first one ends looking like the stepdad did it. Then the second one ends with you going, oh no, it's not the stepdad. Hell, I think it's the half-wit.
Yeah.
There's always, like in this one,
Why is there always a half-wit?
There's always a guy with a 73 IQ. Who managed to be married also at the same time.
And he always falsely confesses. So how much attention do you need that you want to sit there and tell him about a murder you had nothing to do with?
Who would ever falsely confess?
It does happen, but I don't get it. I don't get it
either.
No, it's brutal.
Obviously, something happens in your head where you just...
Well, but you're sitting there just like in the Avery when the cop is sitting there going, and then what'd you do to her head? What'd you do? I cut her hair? No. What'd you do?
That blew me away.
I know. But all of them are like that.
When he's handing them the paper.
We know what you did. Right. Oh, my God.
And his attorney set that
up. The worst guy ever. Yeah, the worst attorney ever.
Not
worst
a good lawyer.
Ever.
Not a good lawyer.
What's his name with the red hair?
Ken something?
I thought it was Len.
Len. You're right, Len.
Len.
With that horrible
Dobkin.
down red hair.
Yeah. I could see Bill Macy playing him in the movie.
God,
I could totally see Bill Macy with that. Yeah, that's Bill Macy could make himself look just
Lawyer
like
Len
that.
how do you say it?
Len Kaczynski.
Oh, yeah, that's not the whole name. That's why. Okay. Yeah. He thought his client did it.
Yeah. Well, he opened the first thing out of his mouth is, well, I just finished 3rd place running for district judge. Took a kind of a beating on that one. So the first thing he says about him is some bullshit fact where he's lost a local election. He's just talking shit about himself immediately. Well, took my lumps there trying to get back on the horse.
William Macy, good call. He really is a fucking William Macy-faced idiot.
Well, half of them in the documentary, the guy above him, the main prosecutor, the special guy, everybody looks like Chris Farley to me. There's so many big Buckethead, Wisconsin. I can see him dressed as Chris Farley. Every other person, I'm like, oh, that's Chris Farley. That's a Chris Farley. There's another Chris Farley.
I don't like Ken Kratz.
He's Chris Farley. I can see Chris Farley doing him as a character.
He's the villain.
His horrible mustache, his tongue that kind of falls out of his mouth.
Making up the whole story. Making up a story. Well, we can find it. If you're 15 years old, get your kids away from the TV. They don't need to hear this. See?
But you know what, though? Like, this is how good this documentary was, how well done. They make the victim's family look like villains for saying Steve Avery is guilty.
Sure.
That's just the way of the nature of the documentary.
Yeah, good job. That's exactly what my wife said. Like, how is that?
Nope.
They lost their daughter, their sister, and you end up kind of hating the family through the documentary.
Because they're not going with the company line that the documentary is giving you.
Yeah.
But again, they're seeing all the evidence. Mm-hmm. Every documentary has some kind of a goal. And, that article you just sent me.
I sent you one from Yahoo News that someone sent me on Twitter last night. This one blew me away.
It's hard to just tweet now about documentaries and go, this guy's innocent.
Right.
When you know, there's always so much more to it than they show. The first one he got fucked on. That one he got fucked.
Yeah, with the one pubic hair they finally found 18 years later.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Avery didn't do that. I mean, that's just what's
one. No, and the other guy was guilty. The other guy was walking around totally. Right.
They just didn't want to admit they had stopped watching that dude.
For the one day they stopped watching him.
10 minutes later, he's raping.
No kidding.
Nice timing, dicks.
But they have the before. They got the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then that day, then Friday, and then just for 15 minutes, they looked away. He ran down to the beach and raped somebody.
This guy. Say what you want, but man, he was economical with his time.
He saw a window.
The cop taillights going away, and he's like, "I have 10 minutes to go commit a sodomy."
Oh yeah.
Can you actually have sex without leaving a pubic hair behind?
I can. I have none.
Oh, that's right. Jimmy's nice and clean.
I can have sex without achieving an erection.
He's having sex right now.
I can have sex without getting any reaction.
There's always one pubic hair that is left behind.
Yeah, there's always one that slips off.
18 years later, they finally got the test, and they realized that the one pubic hair was from Gregory Allen, right?
Yeah.
Gregory Allen, who they sort of suspected to begin with this Stephen Avery, and Stephen Avery had to do 18 years he had to wait for technology.
And he looked like him, too.
A little bit.
You see, in that one mugshot of Gregory Allen and then Steve Avery in the very beginning.
Yeah, they both had the beards.
They both had the same head shape. I see why they mixed those guys up.
Yeah, easy. Really easy.
The sketch artist from the first case was so hateable.
Oh, my God.
And then he worked his way up through the department. When you first see him, he's the sketch artist. Yeah, then 10 years later, he's under sheriff deputy somebody. He's the same, because it took me a minute to go, I'll go, wait a minute, is that the sketch artist? Worked his way up the chain, and I'm pretty sure it's the same dude.
I don't think the police, killed that gal.
No.
Now, you can't go that far.
Well, they hinted that a little bit. A little bit.
Sure.
I'm like, no, but did they maybe plant some evidence to push their case forward? I don't know.
Defense said something interesting. They said they're not trying to frame an innocent man. They're trying to bolster the case against a guy they think is guilty.
Yeah.
If they had planted that little bit of blood, of course it's wrong, but it would make sense to me considering the other physical evidence that the documentary didn't show. Mm-hmm. Which it's kind of annoying. The documentary really excluded a lot of the physical evidence against him in that late. So it's like you look at when you look at the stuff that they left out of the documentary, you're like, oh,
yeah,
no, this sounds so crazy when you watch it. Like, oh my God, how could they think he was guilty? Oh, then there was that, and then there was that, and then there was that they left out.
They kind of left out because they had their own angle.
It's still a movie. I tell people all the time, it's still a movie with movie tricks. There's jump cuts and edits and long shots and sound things, and there's all kinds.
They made Wisconsin look beautiful with those aerial shots in winter.
Yeah. It's like New Zealand and Lord of the Rings. It's amazing.
I never thought a junkyard could look so beautiful from the air.
And they do show you the jump cuts are amazing. Like, they'll show him from 1979. They'll say, "Did you kill that woman?" And then they'll show a clip of him from 1987. Yes, I did. But something else? Oh, my God! He confessed! He's 38 pounds heavier, but he confessed.
That was him.
So back to the blood vial. They never explained that in the doc, why there would be a hole in that.
They didn't. Maybe there was a rational, but again, with the documentary, who knows if they left anything out?
Right.
Or maybe they just never found out.
But, I mean, that was a big part in this documentary, the big reveal, and then they don't really explain it further as far as the other side goes.
Because they shoot it down with the test, maybe.
Yeah, but what would be the reason that you would have to poke a hole in the top to? That obviously means you're trying to get some blood out of that. So
with
why?
A hypodermic,
Why when it's your evidence and you could just unscrew the fucking thing if you need to do something?
Well, you break a seal if you unscrew it. I'm guessing you break a seal.
No, I know, but so why? But I just wish they would explain why that was.
They're both indeed rare and unreliable, so maybe that test wasn't as reliable.
The EDTA test. Yeah. What about the key? The 7th time they go into his trailer, they find the key.
Terrible.
What was that about?
That was also terrible.
His is the only DNA in his. Nobody else's. Scrubbed clean with just his DNA on the key.
That's exactly right.
As if it was his own car key.
That's what they said in the doc.
Yeah, that's what they had.
But supposedly the 7th time they checked his trailer, they find the key, and in a place that would have been relatively obvious, you would have moved some things around?
By the cop that's always had it out for him, that's not even supposed to be on the case. They're not even supposed to be cooperating with him.
Very dirty stuff there. But again, now with that, I'm not convinced either way, because what about, who knows if he didn't wipe that key down himself? And if you kill somebody and if you're into raping and you're one of those guys, sometimes you save shit. These guys, every time they arrest a guy for murder who's murdered a bunch of women or somebody,
little trophies.
They keep trophies. They jerk off. He'd probably jerked off with the key on his face.
Yeah, but you're going to wipe down the key and leave your blood in the car. When there's also no fingerprints in the car?
That's a good point, too. Yes. Right, that's a good point. Why would he do that? I don't know. Why would he wipe his blood off the car, though? That's the crazy part. Like, how would you not wipe your own blood?
I think the even crazier part is that there's no fingerprints on the car.
Well, that could have been Steve Avery who wiped it down, and he could have, just to get his own prints off there when he drove to the back of the junkyard.
And but he's that thorough with his fingerprints, and he misses 3 spots of blood.
Well, you heard him talk. The man's a boob.
I know.
It's hard to go either way, because then you'll hear a point for the defense, and you go, well, that makes sense, too.
It's really right down the middle.
Yeah.
For me.
One of the things that Ken Kratz, somebody reached out to him. Was it Yahoo News? Reached out to him, and he's like, look, 90% of the physical evidence they didn't even talk about in this documentary. And one of the big ones, he says that they found Stephen Avery's sweat under the hood of the car, and that wasn't in the documentary.
Oh, wow. Sweat under the hood of the car.
Yes. Well,
he was in there doing something.
Well, he was opening up the hood of the car. That's where the sweat came from his hands. And they said that was not in the doc for whatever reason.
Yeah, they left that out because it's probably too hard to explain legitimately how that got there.
Oh, here's the article. Yes. I tweeted on my Twitter last night, Opie Radio, cheap plug, I understand. Making a murderer, prosecutor emails us 9 reasons Stephen Avery is guilty. And I don't like this Ken Kratz. I don't like him.
He's not the most likable guy.
The first one, Avery's past incident with a cat, that comes out early on in the doc, where he was goofing around and he spent a little time in jail. Well, it turns out he soaked his cat in gasoline or oil and put it on a fire to watch it suffer.
Yeah, that's a really hard one to overlook. You do overlook that as the documentary goes on, but you're like, oh, this guy was a bit of a cunt, even though he didn't commit that first.
He says I threw him across. We was out there goofing around, and I threw him across the fire, and he just went up.
Yeah,
that was his own words.
You burned him. He
that's what he said. He threw him across, and he just went up.
Yeah, but that's, I guess, the facts. Avery targeted Teresa. On October 31st, 8:12 a.m., he called Auto Trader magazine and asked them to send that same girl who was here last time. On October 10th, Teresa had been to the Avery property when Steve answered the door just wearing a towel. She said she would not go back because she was scared of him. Avery used a fake name and fake number, his sister's, giving those to the Auto Trader receptionist to trick Teresa into coming.
Well, how did Teresa not know the address was the same?
Right. Well, the whole family lived on that property. It was a big piece of land. Yeah, but it seems like there's 3, 4, maybe 5 residents on that.
Yeah, so if you're afraid, don't go back to anybody out there. If you're really worried, don't go back out to Creepy Land, Junkyard Place.
Yeah, how bad do you want to take a picture of a car?
Right.
I mean, it's just
the idiot white trash person in me. All those junkyard shots. I was like, man, that's an awesome junkyard. I'd love to. If I was a little kid, that would be heaven. I would run rampant in there. I would have a great
12 years old in that junkyard.
It'd be heaven. It'd be completely heaven. You got your own crusher you can play with.
Yeah, why didn't he crush the car though?
Sure. I don't know. Again, who knows?
All right. Going back to this article, Ken Kratz. So he sent this in. Number 3, Teresa's phone, camera, and PDA were found 20 feet from Avery's door, burned in his barrel. This supposedly was stuff that they introduced in court. Go back to that. Why did the documentary not tell the viewers the contents of her purse were in his burn barrel, just north of the front door of his trailer? So they knew that when they were making the documentary, I guess.
Yeah.
4, while in prison, Avery told another inmate of his intent to build a torture chamber so he could rape, torture, and kill young women when he was released. He even drew a diagram. Another inmate was told by Avery that the way to get rid of a body is to burn it. Heat destroys DNA.
Oh, maybe that's the first prison sentence. Not the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one.
But I always take anything another inmate says with a grain of salt.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because they could want to just get famous, or they might not like him, or they might get something.
Certainly.
So I always take what they say as a like, if you're in jail, why would you tell another inmate? Then again, if you're Steve Avery in jail and you're just talking 9 years into a sentence you think you're never getting out of, why not just talk? Because you don't think you're ever going to do it.
Yeah. All right, number 5. This is all from the prosecuting attorney.
His email.
His email to therap.com, I guess.
To us. Let's just say to us. Makes it look better.
to me and Jim Norton.
Yeah, but we talked to him.
And Vic Henley, because he knew Vic was going to be in today.
He knew I was going to be here today.
The victim's bones in the fire pit were intertwined with the steel belts left over from the car tires Avery threw on the fire to burn, as described by Dassey. That was where her bones were burned, suggesting that some human bones found elsewhere, never identified as Teresa's, were from this murder, was never established.
Also found in the fire pit was Teresa's tooth, which was ID'd through dental records, a rivet from the Daisy Fuentes jeans she was wearing that day, and the tools used by Avery to chop up her bones during the fire.
How long's it been since Daisy Fuentes has gotten a plug on anything?
She's probably pretty excited today.
Well, the cops are so fucking thorough. They found one bead from the jeans in a burn
and knew it was that
pit.
brand. That's those CSI guys are amazing.
They don't play games, man.
They're amazing.
They must hire people with horrible OCD.
Yeah.
I'm not done yet.
I still got it. I got it.
With tweezers.
I can see Daisy Fuentes.
So you're late for the interview. I'm sorry, I had to close and lock my door 3 times. I have to do. You're hired.
You're hired.
But I was late. You're hired.
First day he brings his tweezers in. I'm ready.
Exactly.
Phone records show 3 calls from Avery to Teresa's cell phone on October 31st. One at 2:24 and one at 2:35. Both calls Avery uses the 6-7 feature, so Teresa doesn't know
Star
it's
6-7.
him. Star 6-7 feature, so Teresa doesn't know it's him. Both placed before she arrives. This is important. Then one last call at 4:35 p.m. without the star 6-7 feature. Avery first believes he can simply say she never showed up, his original defense, so tries to establish the alibi call after she's already been there, hence the 4:35 call. She will never answer, of course, so he doesn't need the star 6-7 feature for that last call.
So this dumbbell probably thinks he can call her and not have it show up on his phone records. It's like, what do you think, star 6-7, the phone company doesn't know what you're doing? Fucking hayseed. Of course they do.
The cone of silence.
Yeah.
It puts you in your special.
It's a magic thing. You hit that asterisk and nobody knows nothing.
Like the boy in the bubble.
This one I said a few minutes ago, but according to the prosecuting attorney sending these facts in an email, Avery's DNA, not blood, was on the victim's hood latch under her hood in her hidden SUV. The SUV was at the crime lab since November 5th. How did his DNA get under the hood if Avery never touched her car? Do the cops have a vial of Avery's sweat to plant under the hood?
That's a harder one to explain away.
But that wasn't in the documentary that they found that sweat in that place. Ballistics said the bullet found in the garage was fired by Avery's rifle, which was in a police evidence locker since November 6th. If the cops planted the bullet, how did they get one fired from his gun? This rifle hanging over Avery's bed is the source of the bullet found in the garage with Teresa's DNA on it. The bullet had to be fired before November 5th. Did the cops borrow his gun, fire a bullet, recover the bullet before planting the SUV, then hang on to the bullet for 4 months in case they need to plant it 4 months later? This guy's not playing. He's pissed off because he looks bad.
Yeah, sure. I like it, though. I like it. He's not laying down. I really enjoy the fact that, he's doing the good attorney thing and arguing back with a whole list of facts as he sees them or has them.
Well, he's just mad that they weren't included in the movie.
Sure, right. Yeah.
There's more, of course, but I'm not a DA anymore. I have no duty to show what nonsense the planning defense is or why the documentary makers didn't provide these uncontested facts to the audience. You see, these facts are inconsistent with the claim that these men were framed. You don't want to muddy up a perfectly good conspiracy movie with what actually happened, and certainly not provide the audience with the evidence the jury considered to reject that claim. Finally, and he admits this, which is pretty interesting, and it's in the movie. I don't think you've seen this part yet, Vic, but finally I engaged in deplorable behavior, sending suggestive text messages to a crime victim in October 2009.
Yeah, this is my private email you're reading. Oh, sorry.
I reported myself to the OLR. My law license was thereafter suspended for 4 months. I have withstood a boatload of other consequences as a result of that behavior, including loss of my prosecution career. However, I've enjoyed sobriety from prescription drug use for over 5 years now and refuse to be defined by that dark time of my life. All of this occurred years after the Avery case was concluded. I'm unclear why the defense-created documentary chose to include this unpleasantness in this movie, especially if the filmmakers had no agenda to cast me as a villain. I'm not a victim in that whole texting scandal. Then again, it's exceedingly unfair to use that to characterize me as morally unfit.
I don't know if that's unfair though, because if you're involved in that and you have a motive, or you're not as clean a character as you would be portrayed by the title of your job, I think it's fair to show that. Like, hey, look, this guy is not just this great guy. Look at how inappropriate he's been with victims of crimes. Yeah. I don't think that's inappropriate. I disagree with him. I think that's fair to show that.
Now, when you're in the public eye, working for the public, everything's fair game before or after.
But jerking off it was tasteless what he did, but that doesn't mean that you're going to fucking set a guy up for murder.
Yeah, true.
And then finally, to identify Lieutenant Lenk, Sergeant Colburn, and myself as being responsible for the framing and knowing false murder conviction of Stephen Avery is irresponsible and inconsistent with the consideration of all the evidence presented. Netflix should either provide an opportunity for rebuttal or alert the viewers that this series was produced by and for, in capital letters, the defense of Stephen Avery and contains only the opinion and theory of the defense team.
Maybe they will.
Thank you for your consideration.
Hopefully they will, but also this is what Ken Krantz or whatever should address. Why these guys who probably did not plant the evidence, or if they did it only a little bit. What about the fucking horrible shit from the first trial? I mean, there is stuff that happened in that first trial that was extraordinarily shady.
Absolutely. So, well, let's go to the phones there. If you want to talk about this, give us a call. We got a few already.
Steve, you're on the phone. Oh. He was the worst witness, by the way. I didn't do it, but I don't know what they think. Well said, stupid.
Yeah. Two things that hit this morning. You know, everyone's signing this petition for Steve Avery, and they want Obama to pardon Steve Avery.
Oh, God.
That came out this morning. And then what was the other thing? Oh, Steve Avery has not seen this and will not be allowed to see this documentary, even though he's a huge star now, as long as he's in jail. They said that he'll never see this thing.
Not good. He shouldn't get Netflix privileges. If they have the fucking your sweat under the hood of a fucking rape murder victim, you shouldn't get Netflix choices.
No Hulu, nothing.
Exactly. You should get like Showtime, but only before 1990.
He's got to watch all episodes of HBO's First and 10.
That would be hell on earth. Now that's a prison sentence.
I get the emotion, though, why you want to do it. It feels like a guy has been wronged. But I wish documentaries really didn't do that stuff where they left out a lot of stuff.
After I watched it, I was like, this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
So then I started just kind of fishing around here and there. And more stuff seems to be coming out that shows that this thing was a bit slanted. Let's say hi to Brian in Rhode Island. Brian?
Hey, good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Hi, Brian. Hello.
One of the things that really irritated me was the defense brought up the fact that the sergeant had ran the plates on a vehicle that couldn't have possibly been in front of him.
That's true.
That's strange, too.
And why didn't they ever bring that up again? They brought up a little blip of it in the documentary, and it really pissed me off, to see that they never brought it up again. I mean, that to me seems like a pretty big, big point to bring up. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of have a cop right now that is fitting into your whole framing the defense, and they just let it slide by. It was really irritating.
Do you think that there was... Well, then again, Anonymous was supposed to be hacking into stuff and hopefully getting information.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that stuff.
Yeah.
To pop.
Do you think that maybe there was a rational explanation for it that the documentary just ignored? Or they just didn't know where else to go with it? Because that was weird. The cop all of a sudden calls in and gives the description or something with the plates of a car, and then later says the car was not in front of him.
Yeah, I
don't know. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That was Vic. That's okay.
I love you, by the way.
Thank you.
You know what? I don't think that something as key as that, why would they leave it out? I mean, I think at the end of the day, these are really simple people. I mean, honestly, you look at the nephew, look at Stephen Avery. I mean, these guys, I can't imagine them being masterminds and when it comes to committing some kind of crime. You know, I think they're very simple people.
Yeah,
maybe that's why he got caught.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. The only thing I was going to say about his nephew, Brendan Dassey, it seems to me that he saw something, right? He saw something.
Yeah. And it wasn't a fucking high IQ score. What a dunce.
No, his first concern was, well, WrestleMania, am I going to miss WrestleMania?
Am I going to miss WrestleMania?
WrestleMania was his first thought.
Except Sam Roberts and E-Rock. Sam Roberts, E-Rock, and Brendan Dassey.
That's the try.
Those are the only three people that are worried they're going to miss WrestleMania.
Travis, questions?
I know. I just want to know if you guys enjoyed all of his high-energy conversations with his mom.
Yeah.
He's literally the fucking dumbest person ever.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of the entire 10 hours is that neither of them knew what inconsistent meant.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. That's how they start phone calls up there. Yeah. I know.
One more thing, boys. You know, tell me you weren't completely irritated with how those cops interviewed him, though.
Yes.
I know you guys brought it up earlier, but you can't tell me they didn't completely put the idea in this kid's head. He's like, oh, can I go back to school now? Not realizing he's completely implicating himself.
Yeah, he was a fucking dunce.
I haven't seen anything on the Brendan Dassey angle. I feel like that guy should get a new fucking trial just because how they manipulated him.
Then again, what evidence about him hasn't been released?
Yeah, exactly.
Meaning the documentary.
Exactly. And he said he got that idea from a book. Why didn't they, maybe go into what that book was all about, and if it's accurate to what he told the police officers in his or that one guy with that weird mustache.
And by the way, if he did get it from a book and then go and tell the police, fuck him. You're just stupid.
Well, I mean,
it's a pop-up book.
They certainly showed that he is stupid.
That's true.
Hey, boys, I'm punching out. Have a good day.
All right.
Good job, Brian.
Yeah. Why couldn't he be a nice dummy like Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it reminded me of the Memphis 3 where the same interview, the same kind of two cops working. His name was Jesse Miskelly. Jesse Miskelly, and they're just luring him. And then he likes the cure, so then he stabbed the child. Yes, he did. Yes,
but that's how they interview all suspects, probably. Just trying to get you to say that you're guilty.
I've been interviewed for many a murder, and they've never talked to me that way.
That's true.
Jesse's testimony, or Jesse's confession, was the first thing that I thought of when they started interviewing Brendan. And I remember Jesse saying, well, I thought that if I just told them what they wanted to hear, they'd let me go
home that day.
Yeah. And Brendan said the same thing. Before they arrested him, he's like, so I got a project that's due at 1
hour 6.
Like they know that these guys are their IQs are so low that they have no sense of what's going on, and they just push them and push them.
And he thought that the defense attorneys were all those people working for his defense. He really was an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh God, he
they took advantage of him, and even the defense attorney's investigator, when he brings him into that room and he's having him draw the pictures,
he was also awful.
And he says, write out everything that happened. If you're not sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so if your IQ is 70, of course you're thinking, well, I didn't do it, but if I don't say I'm sorry, then I can't get out of here, so I have to say I'm sorry.
Then again, if you know your client's guilty, in the sense of, with all, if they knew all this evidence.
But they don't care. They're a public defender. They're just looking to move on to the next thing.
You know what I mean? Maybe they were trying to save him from life in prison. I'm not saying what they did was right.
Sure.
But maybe they're like, hey, dumbbell, you're going away forever. Fucking cooperate and get 15 years and you'll be out in 10, or what happened to him.
But even the special investigator is saying that's not what happened.
Right. Your own guy is
your
where
own guy
comes into the case working against you.
That alone, he should get a new fucking trial.
If my IQ is 70 and I see my attorney on television saying he's my attorney before I've met him, fuck him.
First of all, if your IQ is 70, you've added 5 points.
3.
But I want to know, what didn't they show about Jesse?
Yeah, sure.
What
you mean Brendan?
Bro, sorry, Brendan. What evidence did the documentary leave about him? I don't
think there was any evidence. They talked to him. His confession was...
That was it. They never found any DNA.
No physical, nothing.
And that was in the documentary. They did say they never found any of his DNA where they thought all this was happening. Let me go to a cop. Josh in Westchester. Josh, what's up?
Hey, what's happening, boys?
Hey.
Hi, Josh.
I'm a cop in a small little village, and I can say that every single police protocol was broken from the start of this arrest. And to me, it just seemed like from this guy being previously falsely arrested that they would be extra careful. on the second go around. And just even when like that lieutenant, he showed up at the crime scene and then didn't sign in but signed out.
Right.
The whole thing seemed off.
Yeah, that was weird too.
There was a lot of stuff that seemed very odd.
Yeah.
Just like the sergeant who he had previous dealings with. I know in our job, when somebody has a personal problem with one of the cops, the cops have to stay away. We have to stay away from the scene. So he was just too involved.
Yeah, Brendan Dassey may actually have a case of innocence, but Steve Avery, for some reason, I have a hard time believing he's innocent.
You know, obviously the documentary takes place over about 10 years or so, and the most depressing part was seeing Brendan Dassey a lot older and fat.
Yeah, he looked good when he was younger, but boy, he's not exercising in jail.
God.
I'll tell you one thing he's not doing in jail. He's not spending a lot of time in the weight room.
In the yard.
Oh, there's a picture of him right there. I was like, this kid, he should at least just get a new fucking trial,
Yeah.
I think.
I like his angle, though. They should have been extra careful the second time instead of even more reckless.
Yeah, it's true.
You know.
Now, they got so much courtroom footage. I wonder if the whole 6-week trial, that they probably filmed it, right?
This is why I wanted Kenny to watch this, because Kenny, with evidence, has had at least a career in evidence procedure and handling it, and a better knowledge from having lived in this world. I would love to know what he thinks of this.
Yeah, he's got to watch this thing. Well, all right. This is another angle that we certainly have discussed around here. Go ahead, Dave in Baltimore.
Hey, guys. Big fan.
Hi, Dave.
I specifically wanted to hear you guys answer why they didn't interview the ex-boyfriend. Like, they said they only interviewed Stephen Avery. How can you only interview one suspect?
That's a very good question, too. And that was the guy that had her password, right?
Said he could guess it, yeah.
And that's also the guy that...
And he said he guessed it. That's creepy.
So it didn't take him long.
the guy that told those people that found the vehicle on the lot.
Yeah.
That one day, he's like, go here.
You know, there's...
And that one day, that day they found it.
There's certain stuff like that. Like, I don't know how much of that is exactly as it happened or how much of that is selective editing. Like the way Vic said, sometimes it's a jump cut that makes it look really bad. Because the ex-boyfriend who guessed the password, that's almost so obvious. And even the documentary didn't really do much with him. So I'm guessing because the filmmakers didn't do much with him, there wasn't much there.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah, but how do you not interview him, though?
I agree with you.
Yeah, maybe because they had all this physical evidence against Steve Avery.
There was another article that came out, I tweeted a few days ago, that they talk about 4 other suspects, but they don't mention names because they're scared they don't want to get sued. But they explain, like, one guy, when the cops were on the property getting DNA samples of a bunch of people, this one guy hid under clothes upstairs in a house.
Some cousin.
I don't know, for something else.
But they wouldn't say exactly who that person was. They didn't want to actually name names, but they were talking about these 4 other possible suspects and how shady they were.
But he might have done something else he was guilty of.
True.
Like he might have committed a rape and fucking in behind a Wawa somewhere, and he was worried that was going to come out.
That's all
They were
it's called.
saying the roommate too. They didn't even interview.
But I think they.
So, I wouldn't how do you know that maybe the ex-boyfriend and the roommate did it?
Oh, that's true.
Where's the ex-boyfriend? Was that Scott? Right?
Yeah, whoever was.
What was his name?
I know who. Let me ask you a question to the caller, though. What are the odds that the ex-boyfriend did do it, and yet this stuff happened with Steve Avery answering in a towel, her being scared to go back, her going back,
His sweat under the hood of the car.
Sweat under the hood. But then again, how did she show up at this? Now, the defense may have an argument and go, no, that's nonsense because it wasn't Steve who opened the door in a towel. It was someone else. Like, they may have an explanation for this, too.
Did they say that he never touched the car, though?
I think so. Why would he touch her car when she was there to photograph his?
And why wouldn't he crush the car? I mean, it was hidden with pretty much a branch over it.
Yeah. But
Piece
again,
of fence.
not a bright guy.
I don't know. It was set up so perfectly, that vehicle.
Yeah.
Just like branches set up like...
That was weird.
And the Christian lady, the Lord.
Weird way.
How'd you find it? The Lord wanted me to find it. The Lord wanted me.
Well, that made sense to me. I do understand. I think once in a while the Lord guides us
to a whorehouse.
Yes, he does. He does. Yeah, sometimes the Lord guides me right in there. Please let me find the one with the fattest clit. And he hears me.
It's like a speed bag.
The boyfriend was Ryan. Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan Hilligus.
Yeah,
something like that.
And what about the brother too?
Bobby?
Yeah, he was
Brendan's brother?
No.
Brendan's brother
Teresa.
Bobby creeped me the fuck out in the documentary.
Brother.
Teresa's brother, right? What about?
He's weird too.
Well, his sister was murdered, dude. I don't think he had anything to do with it. You're supposed to. The film was supposed to cast a shadow on everyone.
Other people.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, you gotta have some villains.
Maybe have some villains. But I'm, like that was the fact that they made you look at the victim's family as dicks for thinking your guy, or he becomes our hero.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they think the hero is guilty. And then meanwhile, they're seeing all this other evidence and hearing this testimony.
All they know is what the cops are reporting to them. They're not around all the time, day in and day out. They're sitting at home going on with their lives, and every now and then the defense or the prosecutors or the cops call them and go, hey, we found this, and give them a little more info. So they're only guilty of whatever the information, acting on the information they've been, now if they go on a witch hunt, that's on them. But if you're just going by what the cops tell you, you can't,
Yeah.
Well, it's too unsatisfying to think that, oh no, we watched 10 episodes and he did it. Oh, we're dicks too. This could have been a 3-part miniseries.
We got tricked.
I mean, 70% of this was just a guy who did it?
He really did it.
Thank you, sir. I gotta give some other people a chance here. Ethan in Cincinnati. Ethan, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
Hey, so, if you just type in Google, signs of a serial killer, right? You have antisocial behavior, arson, torturing of small animals, and poor childhood living conditions. Everyone was so focused on the evidence, but the profile of, let's say, someone potentially do these murders.
You missed one. You missed one. Intelligence.
That's true.
High IQs usually.
Yeah, the whole family was pretty much on the short end of the gene pool with this one.
Well, I think
they were fill up a whole bus.
I think they were indicating this. What he's saying, the first thing you see in the first episode is the burning the cat. So that they go right, and then they live by themselves. They didn't associate with anybody. They're the Avery. So I think that the first thing you see in episode 1 is they're going down this list trying to show you, a la making a murderer. Was he really a murderer? Did they make him a murderer? What's going on? Torturing animals.
You think the mom there, Stephen Avery's mom, is sick of going to the prison at this point?
Oh, my God, it's her thing.
Holy mackerel. Wow.
If he did do it, what a dope. If he did do it, what a fucking dope. You're finally out, and you got to do that.
And he had a huge lawsuit.
Right, payday coming.
But that also gave the cops a motive to plant evidence.
I know, that's what's good, too.
Because they were going to be personally responsible. Insurance wouldn't have covered them.
It's just a roller coaster for you.
It's a roller coaster.
It makes it good.
I think the cops were slimy. I really do. That finding the key the seventh time you're going through his stuff. I would understand in the garage, because that garage was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It was a dream for a hoarder, that garage. There was so much stuff. But why wasn't there blood splatters all over that?
Why is the bedroom not decorated? It should be a fountain of blood in the bedroom if they did everything supposedly.
True, too.
Where are the bedposts? He chains and there's ropes and there's no scuff mark.
That's a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where would all that blood be?
Well, and how he's feeding, during the interview for his cousin, he's like, well, what about the gunshot? He's like, oh, yeah, well, I guess we shot him after we stabbed him. There would be a humongous amount of blood somewhere, in the mattress, against the walls. I mean, they just kept on feeding them to give them the right answer.
And they didn't find blood in the cracks in the garage, right? Because
nothing.
I think they
jackhammered up the concrete. They found nothing.
Because they're thinking, all right, these cracks, there's no way you're going to get in these cracks to clean up the DNA evidence. So they jackhammered that up, and they didn't find anything there. That's fucking fucked up, too.
No one had cleaned anything in that garage for 15 years.
Right.
There was no way that was a cleaned-up crime scene garage. And then they put it all back to make it look like the same junky-ass hoarder garage?
No, there's no way. That part is this is... I'm roller coasting the other way.
Well, it's just like, I like the policeman they called in, and when he opens with the very official police sounding, they proceeded to violate every rule of cop protocol. And there's a lot of policemen saying that.
All right,
and Laverne DeFazio's father, the sketch artist,
is running the pizza place at the bowling alley.
That guy was hateable too.
He was the worst.
Gene Cush.
So I'm telling you, he starts as and then he works his way up.
He was pretty entertaining in this thing.
Yeah,
Good old Gene Cush.
He had his shit framed. It was memorabilia for him. That's how they brought it out. Look, he's got it framed.
That guy was the biggest scumbag from the beginning. And as he's just there with his little fucking smirk, you know, and as they take his picture out, like, you got a fucking heart on once they saw the picture.
You're right.
It's just like, oh, that is in my office. How did you find that? And it's just like, oh my gosh, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, still sticking with even though the DNA exonerated him, that he still did the first one.
Mm-hmm. That's his whole thing, his whole sketch. He knows this shitty sketch because I copied, helped the guy do 18 years he shouldn't have done. I'm a cunt. He probably says that every night before bed.
He's proud of his sketch. He's got to put a man away for 18 years.
Exactly.
Gene Cush.
Shadow box. Like the absolute favorite part is the beginning of this episode when he's like on a court to sue for like $30 million. He shows up in like a red racing NASCAR jacket. Man, I just died laughing. It's just like this guy really does have an IQ of 70. Like, it was hilarious.
Well, that was probably his good clothes.
I was going to say, that's his Sunday NASCAR jacket.
That's his Sunday clothes.
He's got his weekday NASCAR jacket, then you have your Sunday NASCAR jacket. We all know that.
Ethan, thank you. Let me give Lynn in Utah a shot here. Lynn, go ahead.
Hey, I've got a theory about this whole thing. I don't know whether them folks was guilty or not, if the police was guilty or not, but you think that old boy looked around after spending all them years in prison, took a look at the mama, took a look at the daddy, and said, fuck it, I got to get back in there?
Wait, what? I missed it.
He said he just looked at his mom and dad and thought, no, I got to go back to prison.
Oh, yeah.
I can't spend another minute.
One of her shitty home-cooked meals.
That's all it took. One more Hungarian goulash.
With his wood paneling kitchen, he's like, I'm done with this. Thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome.
Let's go to Sean in Virginia. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, I just wanted to point out two things. I'm a detective in Virginia, and when you were talking about no DNA in the garage, if she was shot while she was wrapped in something like a tarp, that would prevent any blood splattering, and that could all been burned with her body.
There you go.
Wow.
All right. See?
And
now we got that.
See?
But what about, how is there no blood in the bedroom? That was kind of disturbing too. Like you said, scuff marks on the bed. No, how is there no evidence of her hair?
Yeah, they cut her hair off. I mean, you're not going to be able to keep all that hair from going all over the place.
That was all got from Brendan Dassey's confession, which we think didn't even exist.
That's true.
They coerced him into that. If you remember, Ken Kratz, he said during the trial that she wasn't killed in the bedroom. She was killed in the garage. So I think they convicted him even though they knew that Dassey wasn't involved. I think they just did that for wasting their time.
Okay.
And then the second part was, if you remember Len Kaczynski's investigator, that scumbag.
Watch it. Well, Len Kaczynski is my attorney. It doesn't matter.
With that creepy smile and that red hair pushed down.
I trust Len Kaczynski with my life. Yes, I do.
Well, remember when he was testifying and they were reading all his emails where he's talking about the Averys being incest and just evil people, and then he kept crying the whole time. And he kept saying it was about that blue ribbon. Why did the investigator keep crying?
Oh, no, that's the other guy. That was Michael O'Kelly.
That was the investigator for the defense.
Yeah, that was no, you're talking about Michael O'Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah, he was Len Kaczynski's investigator.
Yeah, they're connected. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, why'd he keep crying during his testimony?
I guess, I don't know. Maybe he really thought this guy was guilty, and I don't know. But he wasn't really an emotional wreck.
I felt like he realized, oh man, I think I might have fucked up by pushing this kid that day.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. It was interesting. I was the same way. I wasn't sure if he did it or not, but yeah. Ken Kratz in 2016. That's who I'm voting for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what? We've all sent a few texts to domestic violence victims.
Exactly.
With a big dick picture of them. Good for him.
While we were all jacked up on Oxy.
Absolutely.
That's
Any
Wednesday.
boy.
Trying to think if we hit it all. I don't think a bonfire is hot enough to burn a body. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
you get the tires burning.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. Winnie Mandela used to use this.
I love Netflix. Networks never would have aired this.
That's true.
Probably true. Let me go to Keith in, where are we going? Trenton. Good old Trenton, New Jersey. Go ahead, Keith.
Guys, the Avery's defense attorney, I think, is the one who was really screwed it up. Their whole defense was that, not that he didn't commit the murder. They weren't trying to prove that. They were just trying to prove that people planted stuff. So they weren't trying to show that he was innocent. They were just trying to show that people planted stuff. So he even stated, these cops might have planted stuff, not because they thought he wasn't guilty, but because they wanted to prove that he was even guiltier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a major problem. You don't want cops planning stuff ever. And,
no,
it's the OJ. It's the OJ.
Yeah, even if it means a guilty man is going to go free.
There's a few things that they did that are just like the defense had their hands tied. I think a little bit too. There's a lot of evidence.
Oh yeah, both judges. Every time you'd see a judge, at least they showed it that way in the movie, where that guy would say something, it would make perfect sense to the viewer, and then the judge would sit there and go, "Well, yeah, no, we're not doing that."
No, Judge Fox, I believe. Good old Judge Fox.
See, we always
wasn't having it.
You root for the guy to get out.
Exactly.
I know.
It's like he becomes the hero of the movie.
It's so weird, I'm a former, as I've started to say, I'm a huge Braves fan, and former Braves pitcher Steve Avery has got to be pissed off.
Oh, wow.
Big time.
That's right.
Well, World Series 21-year-old phenom, Steve Avery, got to be super mad. Yes. Great guy.
Rapist Mariano Rivera from Hawaii.
Exactly.
I forgot about Steve Avery from the Braves.
Amazing. Oh, yeah, in the 91 playoffs, he was too good against the Pirates.
I bet it was him.
He did it. Exactly.
Absolutely. I'm going on the record. I'm not scared of lawsuits.
Steve Avery.
Let me say hi to Justin in Wisconsin. Justin.
Yeah, what's up? I want to know how they convicted two different guys of the same crime, basically. Do you think about that?
They said they did it together, I guess, is what they're sticking with.
They're saying they behaved in concert.
Right, but their charges are not the same that they were convicted on.
Oh, I love that you have the accent from the documentary.
Yeah, Brendan.
I just want to listen to you.
You're welcome.
You got the same accent.
Yes, you do, sir.
Say yeah.
Go Packers.
And why didn't Brendan Dassey testify?
He did.
No, in the Steve Avery case.
Why didn't he?
He's such a bad witness. It would have.
Yeah.
I think the prosecutor and the defense both knew this guy stinks on ice, and he's a completely destroyable witness. And anyone who's trying to use him to help their side, he can be ruined.
It's just okay.
Like
he's unpredictable.
Yeah, and no matter what side says he's telling our story, he's gonna fucking blow it.
He did pretty good on the stand in his own trial, though.
Well, for what they showed, his whole life should be followed by this sound. Womp, womp.
You think his mind is easily changed?
Oh my God!
He flip-flopped his testimony, his confession, 19 times every time. We could go talk to him right now, and he'd change it back.
He's just slow, It's just this guy's like that,
I bet you
he just wants to watch WrestleMania.
I bet you he likes 10 NFL teams.
That would make him slow.
That was the giveaway. Can I go home and watch WrestleMania? You're talking about a sodomy murder and burning a body.
Got a project due in 6th period. Got to get back for that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go on back.
He's worried about WrestleMania when they think he might have had something to do with raping her, slitting her throat, cutting her hair off, and maybe help burning the body, and he wants to watch WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Can we clear this up? Because WrestleMania is Saturday.
I wonder who won that 2005. By the way, I still think he deserves to go more than Sam does.
The thing that gets me is at the end of that documentary when he got his Avery's phone calls, and even at the end when they show him that emotion when he's sitting there at the table and they find him guilty, that's something that you just can't fake.
Yeah, now we have that.
What do you mean?
I mean,
he looked very believable and very just.
I mean, I remember when that all happened.
Disappointed.
All that shit on the news and all that stuff, but when they're at the end of that phone call and that phone call ends and he says, "I just want to get out, move to the woods, have my animals, and never see anyone again." Like it just doesn't people that kill people don't sound like that.
Sure they do. I mean, I'm not saying he did, but people who kill people sound like everything. People, you hear, there's doctors and lawyers who have murdered their wives and children and covered it up, and they don't sound like people who would do that. Of course you do. If you're in jail or whatever, you're going to jail for the rest of your life, of course you just want to sit in the woods and be alone.
Mm-hmm. That goes back to one of the profile serial killer things, though. Alone in the woods with his animals.
Yeah, Ted Kaczynski wanted to be alone in the woods. We saw how that worked out.
It worked out too well. Why didn't Stephen Avery testify?
Again, that's another thing that really convinced me, you guilty motherfucker. How do you not testify in your own defense when you legitimately didn't do it? Stop it.
Even in the original case, right? Did he in the first trial? Did he? Take
I don't know if he did or not.
I can't remember.
But I mean, in this one, I don't want to hear like you can't judge whether or not they are guilty or innocent. If you're being accused of raping and fucking murdering someone in your own house and you're not going to testify, go fuck yourself.
And he was smarter than Brendan Dassey.
Yes,
that one blew me away. I know that's a strategy that they use, but I'm like, man, I think he needed to testify.
I could be framed for certain things in my life. You cannot frame me for a rape and murder. You can't.
I'd be jumping up and down, yelling and screaming at the top of my lungs. They'd have to tell me to calm down on the witness stand. I think I'd look guilty. I'd be so goddamn mad that I didn't do it.
Yeah, could you wait till we ask the questions? I'd stop before Steve stopped yelling. I didn't do this.
Right, I'd be spitting on them, pit bull frothing crazy. You know, if I didn't do it.
And then why didn't he crush the car?
Yes.
And then bury the crushed car. And then burn the car.
Burn the crushed. Yes.
And then put the old cars back over the place you just buried the crushed car.
They'd have found
it. Huh? And that lady that found that car, she was a private investigator up in Green Bay at some point in her life.
Ooh, nice. Little tidbit there.
She was a fucking cunt, though, anyway.
Who was? The one who found the car.
The lady who found the car.
Can you do us a favor? Yeah. Just say, I want to go home and watch WrestleMania.
I just want to go home and watch WrestleMania.
It was too smart. It sounded too smart.
Genius.
Yeah, you're a little too smart. Little genius from Wisconsin.
You know, I'm not married to either theory. Like, if it turned out like that we're just looking at things the prosecutor has said and the defense could explain this stuff away easily, then I'm all on board again with this guy being innocent. I don't have any investment in him being guilty.
Yeah,
at all.
A lot of stuff coming out though that just wasn't
that
in the
Andrew
documentary.
Colburn, that dude is a real fucking shady dude. He seems like.
Yeah, I thought so.
And what the hell else? Oh, damn it!
But just because they're shady doesn't mean that he's innocent. But again, that lack of blood does bother me. How do you not have any hair or any of that stuff? Seventh time in the house, there's just too much.
There's a lot of stuff.
My thought is that Scott Toddick or whatever that guy's name is, him and his kid or nephew did it. That's my theory on it.
Yeah, why though?
Well, what they got, I don't know why they would have, but that's just my theory that those are the two that did it. They're the only ones that have some sort of alibi, I guess, for where they were and saw each other, saw her.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'm going to move on to a defense attorney. He wants in on this. Mike in New York.
Oh, Arthur Kirkland, you're on. Something's really wrong here. I got an insane fat-faced guy who likes to hang out with his retarded cousin. What do you give me? Go ahead.
Hey, Jimmy, I'll give you my card later.
What's up, Mike?
I just want to say to that previous caller about, about this guy, having a breakdown in court. I've had clients who are on video surveillance pulling triggers, just break down and sob in court or pass out or whatever. Just the emotion of knowing, shit, I'm in jail the rest of my life overwhelms them. Not necessarily the human reaction of, oh my God, I got wrongfully convicted.
All right. What about this too? They interrogated Brendan without an attorney. That's bad, right, Mike?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the overwhelming theme of this whole mini-series is everybody fucked up.
What do you think as an attorney?
Yeah, did you
not legally, but do you think he did it committed the action or not?
If as an attorney, strictly attorney response, the burden is beyond a reasonable doubt, and I think there was enough fuck-ups all around.
Okay.
That I'm not beyond a reasonable doubt.
But do you think I said committed the action like a? Sorry.
Is the lack of hair.
Okay.
Right.
Do you think he did it?
No, he said there's enough reasonable doubt to make it.
No. He said legally. I'm saying not legally, not in a legal sense. I'm saying, like, do you think he committed this crime?
What's the term you used before?
I did say committed this action because sometimes a high school dropout while talking to an attorney will say attorney-like things. Do you think
I love it when the lowest common denominator tries to use big words.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. I'm an admitted fool. But do you think that he fucking raped and killed this girl? Or did it? Not legally, but
At the end of the day, what really bothers me is they could not find her hair in the garage or in the bedroom, and hair flies everywhere.
Okay. Yes. So no, he's saying no, I guess.
Well, he's got to just say no, not...
Yeah. He's giving you a lawyer.
I'm not going to give you an answer.
Yeah, he's giving
Why?
you
I'm
a
asking
lawyer
for your opinion.
He's
just an opinion.
I think at the end of the day, there's enough there about it that bothers me that he may have done it, but I can't get past the fact that there was no hair anywhere.
Yeah, I know. I'm only saying not in a legal sense, not a convictable or fucking acquittable sense. 2 more words I just decided to use. But I mean, I'm just wondering, like, do you think that he did this or not? Like, I know that there's evidence and there's different things, but looking at this now, it's hard for me to believe he didn't actually fucking kill her.
As a viewer of the documentary, forget your career. As a viewer of the documentary,
I think he probably did it.
Okay.
There you go.
Then as a person, you think he did it, but your lawyerness says, hey, look, they shouldn't have convicted him.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
There goes Mikey. Wow. So everyone's talking about this making a murderer.
Your lawyerness.
And
convictability. I should have said convictability.
Convictability, right? Keys and junkyards are kept in the car. Natalie, I still don't see what his motive would have been. Carrie, I think the ex-boyfriend did it.
But there's no evidence against the ex-boyfriend other than he hacked their email. And if we know that, and there was messages erased, then what? I'm sure they pursued that. And like, maybe there was just nothing there.
Yeah, maybe he was attracted to her, but it doesn't mean he's going to now kill her. Maybe he was a bit obsessive, wondering, what she's been up to, but...
And how did his thing wind up in Steve Avery's house?
I don't know. Why would that happen?
Too weird.
I'll give Carrie a shot here. Yeah. Then we'll start wrapping this up. Carrie, go ahead.
Exactly.
Let me tell you guys, my husband doesn't even know my voicemail password, okay?
Okay.
Well, you're a better sneak than she was.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, apparently. But that was just too coincidental that he knew the password, got into the voicemail. The voicemails are deleted. That nobody ever talked about how the voicemails got deleted. That went nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was during the case, and they chose not to show that in the documentary.
Or did it ever occur to you that some of those voicemails that were deleted were ones that had been there for 30 days and not saved permanently and then just deleted?
No way. I think he was stalking her, and he knew he was stalking her. He was sending her all those voicemails. He went in, freaked out, and he deleted it. And don't forget, they interviewed the boyfriend with the friend. Why did he do that?
The two of them at the same time.
Yeah, that's weird, too.
Yeah, that is weird.
But then why does the cell phone wind up in the burn barrel outside of Steve Avery's house? Meaning, if you're the ex-boyfriend and you kill her, why do you fucking not do something with that cell phone that then now you want to go and change her voicemail why would you just change her voicemail from her own phone?
Because then why did he do the search on Steve Avery? Why was he Mr. ex-boyfriend now is doing a search party?
Maybe he's doing a search party on Steve Avery's house because that was the main suspect and they knew it. I mean, I'm throwing out a maybe. But maybe, the word of the street was that this guy might have done it or this is her last place. He might have found out that was the last known place she went. So that's the logical place for the search.
She was killed on Steve Avery's property. I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt. But who did it? I think now that I've researched this a bit, that it is Steve Avery did it. But all right, maybe she went there and then someone else on that property killed her. But I don't think she was killed anywhere else but the property.
I don't know. I'm still not sure.
Why did the boyfriend give the woman the camera? That one and only woman the camera, who was the one that found the car in like 5 minutes.
We got that too.
That's true.
And he gave her a direct line to the sheriff too.
Right. And she was the only one that
I think that was a documentary trick. I think everyone had a direct line to the sheriff.
Well, that could be.
He may have said to everyone, if you find anything, direct line to the sheriff.
Okay.
And he may have maybe he gave her the camera just because she was going where he thought something would be found.
He knew that the Lord had touched her that day.
Yes.
No way.
I don't disagree with the Lord angle.
He told her where the car was. Come on.
No, he didn't. He told her he didn't tell her exactly.
He told her the 50 square foot area on the 40,000 square foot property.
Yeah. Kenny has a comment.
Thank you,
Kenny,
Carrie.
comment?
Thank you.
I have something very important to interject.
Yes.
Okay.
Larry is listening, and he's got this whole thing figured out.
Who's Larry?
You don't want to know who Larry is. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear what Larry's.
Yeah, he's like a regular Sherlock Holmes.
You want him now or after the break? What do you want to do?
Take a break.
I think we need a break before I find out who Larry is. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, maybe can Larry wait through the break?
Yeah, of course.
Sure,
of course, Larry can.
Is Larry the religious guy?
No, Larry's the parrot guy that I thought I could get good radio out of, and I failed miserably.
Oh,
were you here that day? I'm trying to remember who was here that day.
He's got a parrot.
Florentine.
Jimmy was gone. I did a Friday show, and I'm like, I got this. I'm going to bring Larry in for an hour. He's going to crush it.
He has a parrot?
He's got a great parrot, but he brought that on Sam's show, and that failed miserably as well.
We got birds on radio.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, hard to believe a landlord with a bird wasn't a hit.
And now we keep bringing him back in because now he has this whole thing figured out. So of course we got to bring Larry on and see what he has to say. All right, we'll take a break. We'll talk to Larry about making a murderer.
Larry's actually this is the Larry from Birmingham, which is where I'm going this weekend, believe it or not.
Are you doing Stardome?
My first,
Are you doing Stardome, really?
Yeah, this will be my first and last time at Stardome.
Yeah, tell him he still owes me $9,000. Tell him when you see him that he still owes me $9,000.
Sir, you owe Vic for 10 of his last appearances. If
your last time,
if people don't, if it doesn't sell out, I'm not going to go back for what?
They better fucking buy tickets. Why wouldn't you buy tickets to see Jimmy in Birmingham?
Yeah, you got to go, everybody, despite the fact that I hate the owner of that club.
You hate him?
He owes me $9,000 since 1991.
Oh, my God.
He shorted me at the end of the week. I was supposed to get paid. I was on the percentage. I'd crunched all my numbers. He goes, hey, I know we told you that, but I'm not going to do that. Here's
and just gave you what he felt like.
He
owes you $9,000.
Wait, you were making $9,000 in bonus in 91?
Yes. I was getting a 60-40 door split, and he told me that if we added the third show on Friday, the third show on Saturday, and a second show on Sunday, that if I hit all those numbers, he would put me on the door. And I did the math for that and walked in there thinking I was going to get handed $11,000 and got handed $2,000.
Let's call Netflix. We got Making a Liar.
Absolutely.
Coming soon to Netflix.
So, my brother was his insurance man. That's how I first got the gig in the first place. And then years later, they were still friends. My brother every year would go, you really ought to let this go. And I'm like, fuck you, let this go. Tell him to pay me back.
We have no idea if this owner owes $9,000.
Go see Norton.
I'm selfish. I care only about what he owes me.
Go see Norton. Go see Jim Norton and Birmingham people.
That's how much you like Jim Norton.
Yes, and I will forget that.
You
Throw
want
that
him
out
to
the
crush
window.
in the place that...
Yes, the comic to comic love takes precedent over fuck the club owner hate. Go see Norton in Birmingham. It's worth it. Please go see Norton in Birmingham.
You want Norton to ask for your money?
No, that's all right. I know he's had enough suffering in his life. I don't have to wish anything bad on the guy.
All right,
that used to be 2001 Space Odyssey. It was a disco. Now it's Stardome.
Jeez.
It was a freestanding disco building in the parking lot of a Walmart somewhere. So
what are we promoting today, Vic Henley?
Live from Lou's Cruise. And yes, buy my Live from Lou's Cruise. And I'm all over the city for the next few months, so I got no road stuff.
We'll get you on the radio a little bit.
I'll try to bother
a little bit. And then you know where Jimmy's going. And then he's got a huge tour that's going to be starting in February. You go to jimnorton.com for all the cities.
In Chicago.
Chicago's the first one.
February 11th.
February 11th, it kicks off in Chicago at the Vic Theater. All right? We're going to talk to Larry next. My God, you got to stay where you are. Shouldn't Larry be outside the door waiting for his airtime?
Did he bring the bird?
Not today. He didn't bring the gray parrot that almost talks.
Do you know this parrot epidemic in Connecticut story? There's there's some giant jungle parrots that are invading areas of Connecticut that they're becoming a nuisance and people can't get rid of them.
Wait,
I don't know if it's true or not. Somebody told me this at a New Year's Eve party the other night.
Wait, it's the parrot thing again. Wait, do you always come in here and do the parrot thing?
No parrot thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, because that happened in San Francisco and L.A.
My friends that live in Durham, Connecticut, summer before last, were sitting in there by their pool and a giant green one landed on their basketball hoop, and that was somebody's somebody's pet because their daughter walked over to it and put a broom handle up and the thing stepped off the hoop onto the handle. And it's still living in their house.
Of course. What do you think?
For a year. Somebody just let it go and it showed up at my friend's house and they've had it for a year now.
Well, this pops up from in areas around the country where, a few parrots get loose. They start fucking. Next thing you know, there's hundreds of parrots and they all live in one little area.
And they're building big nests.
And people think it's really fucking weird and strange.
Are they loud?
Yeah, supposedly they're horrible for a lot of reasons. And the funny part of this is somebody was telling me this story and somebody standing next to me was drunk and they thought they said parakeets.
Oh.
And I'm like, it can't be parakeets. They couldn't live. First of all, I wouldn't think that parrots could live in the cold weather of Connecticut. But
parakeets, that's the bird.
That's the little tiny one that dies in 8 minutes that you get at the pet store.
Yeah, when we were growing up, they always warned you not to have a breeze come through your house or it would kill your parakeet. Exactly. Even if it was summer, right?
I know, exactly.
Don't parakeets, isn't it shitty to own a bird and make it just sit in a cage?
Right.
Why do people own birds? And make them just sit there in a fucking cage? Isn't that kind of cunty?
I would say so. You're talking about human beings, though. We're a bit cunty by nature.
But, literally, you get a bird, and it just sits there all day and does nothing. It's supposed to fly.
It just shits on newspaper all day long.
What kind of a dick pet is that?
I don't know.
It's weird.
It is weird. So, yes, Kenny.
I don't think you're going to get Larry.
He's insulted now?
Larry's playing hard to get.
Why? He was the one that said he could solve the making a murderer thing.
Well, he didn't say it.
Well, he said he's got it all figured out.
Yeah. He said it.
Oh, he hasn't even watched the thing?
Oh, no, he's watched it.
What's his problem?
No, I guess, I don't know what his problem is, but it wasn't too much encouragement every time his name is mentioned here.
Oh, really? You got to blow him to get him in here.
From
good old Larry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want Larry. Can you try one more time?
He's playing hard to get.
Larry, I'm sorry.
That never works with me with a woman's strategy, by the way.
Maybe it was me.
Well, you know what it is? Most people play hard to get. I play hard to want.
Yeah, exactly, Kenny. Well said.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to
the oracle of knowledge.
We're now going to verify Vic's bird story instead of talk to Larry about making a murderer. Will be just as good. Let's say hi to Steve in Queens. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, sorry, this probably isn't as good radio, but this happened to me in Jersey. I work in Jersey. I went running right after work. It was toward night or whatever, and in the light post there was a big gray bird, right? And it looked kind of like a hawk a little bit. I'm like, oh fuck, whatever. And then I run down to the next light post or whatever. I'm running past it. It's another one with his family, and it turns out it looks like an African gray parrot or some type of big house parrot that was just mangy and fucking.
Of course, he's living in the rogue wilds of Jersey.
No, seriously. And there were maybe 3 or 4 nests, all the way up in the light post. And they were really scrappy looking, and they looked like they didn't want to mess around. They didn't want me under them or anything, but they were definitely there for a while.
Yeah, that's what happens. These birds get loose, and some of them can survive out there.
It's like the feral hog.
I'm surprised that they have enough that they can habituate to whatever a Jersey environment when they're probably used to just being inside or somewhere tropical.
There's an area in San Francisco. It's one of those areas where it's all stairs. But it's stairs, it feels like through the woods, and there's all these houses. I forget the name of the area. And they're infested with, I think it's parrots as well out there. Or, I believe it's parrots.
The main park in Sydney, Australia, these bats that they're bigger than chihuahuas, and they're just everywhere, and they're hanging from, and it's creepy. It'd be just like if you walk through Central Park and you looked up and there's just 11 of them hanging on a tree, and the Aussies are oh, that's all right, there's a little fruit back there. No, it's a goddamn flying chihuahua that weighs 11 pounds. It's completely freaky.
Shit and the piss coming off him, right? Don't they?
Yeah, it's horrible.
What heavy metal wins?
Fuck yeah!
What is this story?
They're scaring the bats with heavy metal.
Really? No. Read some.
Fucking bats are rocking.
What is this story? Does it matter? What are they doing with the heavy metal music? I don't care. All right.
It's a plan. They're gonna run them out
with music.
Yes, recorded on a CD, was played at a volume among the trees in the normally tranquil garden. They're trying to run the bats out with heavy metal music. That was a plan. $2.2 million.
That's a lot of bats.
That's a lot of metal. $2.2 million. You can get Metallica to stand there and play under the tree for $2.2 million.
Wait, why does it cost $2.2 million? You just need a boombox and a Metallica CD.
I was going to say.
What the fuck? Why is that
This plan was
$2.2 million plan.
This was implemented by the Stephen Avery family, apparently. They all got together with their cumulative IQ. And
just shake the tree. Get out of here.
Just get a broom and poke them.
Yeah. You know how much they'd be annoyed during the day?
That's weird.
No, they're there. You can't get rid of them. I've seen it. It's creepy. It's totally. Yeah, they call them the flying foxes. That's how big the damn things are.
We'll get rid of them.
I can't do that.
Why?
That's inhumane.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. And they're not really hurting anybody, right?
You could feed mice poison and have the bats eat the mice.
But they're not hurting anybody by being there.
No, they're just probably, like you said, the pee and the shit's probably causing some problems.
Dopes. If animals just shit better, then no one would bother them. It's your shit that bothers us, you fucking assholes. Stupid animals.
It's too close to the Sydney Opera House. That's why they got to get rid of them. Flying, wow, look at all those bats. You can't because it's radio. We'll tweet out the video. What else is going on? Trump released his first TV commercial, and there's some controversy because one of the shots he uses, he wants you to think it's the Mexican border with everyone running to America, and it turns out
Honduras, right?
Morocco, right?
Morocco, okay.
Well, it's just a refugee run. It's just not this border.
And they said we purposely picked that just to show you where we're heading in America.
Okay,
that's how they kind of spun that. You think that's the truth?
Where we're heading in America? Open up the plug.
No. You think that they purposely?
They don't know what they're doing. If you look at the long list of when he's wrong and nobody calls him on it, he's like 0 for 40 on half the shit he says is not true. So I don't really. I'm 100% self-funded. No, you're not. And you haven't been for months. That's a lie. 50% at maximum.
Where's he getting his money from? From those
people
hats?
Are loaning him money. His merch is going through the roof. His merch is got the ties, the hats, everything, the hair gel, all of it.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, now we're getting close to this getting real.
We'll find out. It'll be really curious. I was just in Iowa, and I was asking them from the stage for eight or 9 days, and the 300 people I had every night didn't want to have anything to do with it. They didn't think so.
He's going to lose Iowa.
Well, they were just going, They were just not paying him any attention. I was like, is this real? But again, those are people that go to comedy clubs, so those are much cooler people than your regular Iowa folk, I would think. There is a little bit to the idiots out walking around. That's what Iowa stands for.
But everyone's been saying, now this is the beginning of the end for Trump. They've been saying this for 6 months.
Sure, fine. Hey, I'd love to see him in Cleveland at the Republican convention. I'm a comic. I'm looking for laughs, baby. Come on, I'd love to see him on that stage. The Republicans would lose their minds, or at least they're acting like that.
I wish I told the guys to pull this. There was a montage on one of the news channels yesterday with everybody saying, now because what he said about John McCain, he's done. Oh, what he said about he's done. And they did a whole montage with the date. Starting in July, he's done. August, he's done. This is the beginning and the end. September, October. If you could find that, I'm not sure what channel I was watching yesterday. It might have been, I don't know. It was one of the three. It might have been MSNBC if I had to guess. It might be on Mediaite because it was really good.
He really got to know Putin, and they had a great time when they did 60 Minutes together. And they're in two separate. He's on a different continent. They were on the same show together. They were on the same episode together. But he acted like they were hanging out in the green room.
There was no interaction.
He didn't meet him. The Putin interview took place in Russia, and the one with Trump took place over here. And he goes, "Oh, we had a good time down on 60 Minutes that day." No, you didn't. You weren't even.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. There's a guy on Fox in an Anson Williams wig. I'm trying to see who that is.
Oh my God,
Anson Williams wig.
No, that's
Ben Carson's wife.
Oh,
sorry, that's Ben Carson's. Not only is it not a man,
Sherrod turned me on to this. She's a handsome lady.
Yeah,
that's more of a James Brown do. I would say
that's not a good do from the front though.
And that's her all dollied up.
Yeah, wait till you see it from the front.
That's rough on Fox News right now. Ben Carson's done though.
Oh yeah,
he should be done.
He's done. Most of these guys are done, right? Let's say hi to Bert in Jersey. Bert.
Yeah, so my friend lives next to this priest. The guy's got no kids. He's a douchebag that just feeds pigeons all day. Throws shit out there, and they're all over the place. Every time you walk by, they fly up on my friend's house and they shit all over his roof. So my other friend suggests if you feed them rice. I don't know if this is true, but supposedly the fuckers blow up when they eat rice. Pigeon.
That's what they say about doves at a wedding. That when people have the doves at a wedding, you're not supposed to throw rice at a wedding if they're going to release doves, because the doves will eat the rice and they blow up.
Well, then how about the doves just don't eat the rice?
They can't do it.
Why do they not have any of the blame? Why is it always our fault? Hey, fuckheads, don't eat that.
Don't eat that and stop shitting everywhere.
Hey, if someone goes out, if a person walks around eating carburetors, you don't blame the car companies. Like, don't eat that, you fucking dope.
That'd be a great. I think that's more, as a white trash person, that's a great wedding. Purposely feed the doves and watch them blow up.
What happens to the doves after you release them?
They cry.
They fly to
that's quick.
They fly to a magician's house.
When doves cry,
they cry. They end up at Prince's house.
Nice. What happens to them, though? I guess as humans, we don't give a fuck. It just looks great for the moment, right?
Something you want doves, that's another $30.
Fuckers.
Yeah, that's it. See you later. Right.
We needed a photo op.
Exactly.
We stink.
Yeah, he says it's true. It's a myth. They will not die.
They won't die.
Damn it.
All right.
I'd like to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wouldn't. I love birds. Just as pets, I think it's really inhumane to have a thing just sit there and look at your dumb house all day.
Yeah.
I mean, dogs are different. At least dogs can walk around. Cats can walk around. They can scurry, claw the couch.
My friend had a cockatiel, and he never kept it in the cage. He carried him around all the time. A cockatiel. A cockatiel.
What are you supposed to do with a bird?
Nothing. Let it sit on your shoulder and peck your face, since it can't do anything.
Old people seem to like birds, right? That's
whatever.
an old person thing.
Oh, I loved it. Heidi Flash. You ever see the HBO Heidi Flash where she's trying to start a male brothel? Yeah. It's an HBO. It's a great HBO. Sherrod turned me on to it. And that same thing.
She loves birds.
She befriended some crazy lady that had 1 million birds, and she had birds too. And that was one of my favorite parts of the whole episode, was her and all the crazy bird shit.
I think I knew about that from Celebrity Rehab, that she liked the birds.
Yeah.
Any animal that will shit on your sleeve, I have no use for.
How about you got to trick them that it's nighttime so they can sleep?
Yeah, they're really dope.
You put a pillowcase over the cage so they can, it's nighttime now. I guess they can sleep.
When my niece was 8, we were on vacation, and she had the parakeet in the cage, and I'm sleeping in the room, and I'm like, move that. And she goes, no, I'm going to cover it up. Just be okay. I'm like, you're 8. Do what I say. Get it out of here. I don't want. She goes, no, you don't. I don't have to listen to you. You're not my dad. I go, okay, fine. Then when you wake up in the morning, you're going to roll over. The bird's head's going to be on your pillow because I'm biting it off in the middle of the night.
Wow.
And she's like, and my brother comes around, I'm like, what are you doing scaring my child? I'm like, tell her to get the goddamn shitty pet out of my bedroom.
Why didn't you want the shitty pet in your bedroom?
Because he's noisy and loud and clucking around.
Not if you put the cover over the top.
You can still hear him in there rattling around and fucking trying to read the newspaper.
Trying to figure out where they are.
Exactly.
As they flutter.
All of a sudden the lights go. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, they're probably wondering, are these things on my fucking side are supposed to open and take me places? How come they can't fucking fiddle with a lock? It's amazing you have the gift of flight, but you can't figure out how to jimmy a lock on a piece of shit cage.
Yep.
Don't they snip the tips, and that's all it takes for them not to fly anymore?
Supposedly, yeah.
It's
something
just
like that.
Cruel. It's cruel. It seems really fucking cruel.
It's not even a lock. It's just a latch. If they could just flip it up.
It is.
It's not even a complex
with their
lock.
beak.
That's true.
Totally.
I'm acting like it's a combination lock. You're right.
They got that,
working it with his foot.
They got that nice thin beak. That's perfect for popping that latch.
I think so.
Getting the fuck out. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, being a bird must blow.
Not good.
In someone's fucking house all day, just listening to their boring conversations, watching them smoke.
What if you're one of these African, or what if you're living in the Amazon jungle, and all of a sudden then somebody hits you with a dart in the neck, and then you're in a box, and then you wake up and you're in Connecticut and you're living in somebody's house. And they're got you. 2 days ago you were in the jungle, fucking other birds and having a great time. And
it's gotta suck.
Doesn't it seem cruel to clip the feathers and put it in a cage?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're now looking at wing clipping on Wikipedia. That does look cruel. And that's all it takes. You just snip those 5 at the end, and that's it.
They never grow back?
They're not flying anymore. I don't know.
I don't understand how anyone can justify that. I never thought about it until recently, like 10 minutes ago.
So you'd be okay with falconry? You're okay with that? Because they fly.
They're outdoors. They're just training something to do something is one thing. Go over there and grab me a fucking, grab a note. Whatever dumb falcons do.
I think you're talking about Tyson's pigeons.
Yeah, you're thinking about pigeons. You're thinking about carrier pigeons.
In the Bronx.
But the fact that these things are just standing in a cage, how can you justify having one in your house?
Because it's pretty.
What do you like? How can you justify clipping its wings and then just sitting it there like a fucking douchebag?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something. If there's a bird owner that can tell me what I'm missing, I'm fine.
Do you feel the same way about like hamsters and guinea pigs and stuff like that?
I never really, it's funny. I never really thought of that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess
this is because birds are out in the wild and you see them in a different
fly around.
Well,
yeah,
I don't disagree. I'm just
they have the whole earth is their playground, or this 3-foot cage.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Do you want the whole earth? Or this little cylindrical thing to look at the top of this cunt's head.
And we're such twats. Like, the thing to do would probably be to get a huge cage that takes up like half a room. But then as humans, we're like, oh, that's going to be real messy. I don't want to deal with that.
They've got the eagle on the campus at Auburn, and he is in the most massive outdoor aviary thing like you'd see at a zoo. And I still feel bad for him because I'm like, no, I'd walk past him every day, and I'm like, you're supposed to be out. You're an eagle. For God's sake.
But how big is his area?
Oh, God. You'd have to pull it up. Look up the Auburn Eagle Aviary, but it's massive. It's really, really big, and it's still not big enough. It's still just a giant glorified bird cage on campus. And I love Auburn, but it's weird. I feel because I'd pass him, I'm like, you poor bastard, you ought to be out there flying.
But that's
around.
At least you're out in the there's at least a lot of room for you to move around. Not as much as you should have, but there is enough.
Yeah, well, throw Avery in that search and let's or sanctuary something.
Hamsters have got to be fucking annoyed too.
They can't be happy.
No. Just
Aviary.
Going in a circle so your kid has something that's fucking fiddle with?
Yeah.
Bird wings grow back. Thank you, Josh in Boston.
Oh, okay.
So, I have a parrot.
That's
Scott
good.
wants people to know he has a parrot.
Just when his wings come back and he's ready to fly.
Then you snip him again. He's like, oh, nerds, I got to start all over.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Here they come.
Here I go again. I got to wait.
Who has a bird?
Huh? You want to talk to Scott in Missouri who has a parrot? All right. Scott, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, boys. How you doing?
We're doing all right.
All right. Yeah, I have a blue-fronted Amazon parrot. He'll be 29 years old in June.
Yeah, that's another thing. They live forever.
Yeah, 50 to 75 years. I've clipped his wings many times. I let him fly quite a bit, but he's really cool and everything, but he gets a little bit of an attitude when he can fly, so sometimes I just have to humble him a little bit, clip his wings once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
It's totally painless, doesn't hurt him at all. All you do is just clip a few flight feathers on each wing, leave the end on so it doesn't look funny, that way, when his wings are full and it doesn't look,
Here's the other problem. You really got to commit. You got to put some of these pets in your will. These parrots don't die. We're looking at a story. This one's 87 years old.
Yeah.
I actually got one in a fucking will. It was so annoying. I thought I was going to make a fortune, and it turned out to be the name of a bird. My fortune.
And the other thing, to address Jimmy's point, he doesn't sit in a cage all day at all. I would let him roam free. The only time I'd ever put him in his cage and close the door was when I left the house, just for his own safety, so like he wouldn't chew on electrical cords and stuff like that. But when I'm home, he's got free reign, and I would even attach a chain to the ceiling to right his cage. He'd climb up to the ceiling, and I mean, he had all kinds of fun. He's got a great life. He gets plenty of attention. He's got probably about 150 word vocabulary.
Sir, attention to a bird. Let me explain something to you. Birds want to fly around the earth. They don't need attention.
From a human.
Exactly. They're not fucking 8-year-olds who need Ritalin. They're fucking winged animals.
They want to fly over the Grand Canyon and check it out.
And you think that's made up by you shooking his chin? Oh, look, he wants me to look at him.
Surprise. When you ignore him, he lets you know it, and he wants to say, believe me.
Because he's bored. Because he's bored. If you gave him the option of explore this circular planet or have me notice you, he would choose exploring the planet and having you ignore him.
Let his wings grow back and just open a window.
And see what would happen.
And let's see what happens.
Right.
Let's see if you created a bond with this thing.
Open a whole 5-pound bag of sunflower seeds.
Right.
And a window.
His thing.
When he was 3 months old, so he's only known life.
I know. I just think thinking about certain animals and the amount of room we give them is really awful. Like again, a dog. At least he's got your house to roam around in, and you're walking him, you're taking him outdoors. But a fucking bird just sits there like a fucking cunt. Birds, what a dumb cunt a bird must feel like. Just standing there.
You must feel like a silly goose.
Oh my God,
just
a completely silly goose.
Just in a cage. Well, all right, let me go over here 6 inches to my right. Well, now let me go 6 inches to my left. That's his world.
That's his whole fucking world.
Down the road, down the little wooden thing, the little bar.
What he really wants to check out, like Mount Rushmore from above.
You'd love to see that.
Right, he would love to check that out.
So he's got to fucking sing Minnie the Moocher as he goes left and right, back and forth. Fucking heroes now can't
with that nervous neck of his.
Yeah, because I always wondered why the cage bird sings, but now I know why the cage bird sings.
Because he's fucking angry.
That's right.
He wants out.
That's very true.
Well, I let him fly all over the house. I mean, he literally could fly any place he wants.
Yeah, well, aren't you the king of all birds?
King of all birds. All right.
Hey, Vic, I love you, man. You're one of my favorite guests on the show. You kick ass.
Oh, thanks, man.
We love
man.
Vic Henley. My God, he hasn't been around since November, I think.
That's true.
Let's say hi to Jason in Texas. Go ahead, Jason.
Welcome aboard, Jason. Thank you for calling the program.
Oh, we lost it.
Oh, my long introduction fucked him up.
I have a bird. They are the ultimate companion, is what he wants to say.
All right.
I've been looking at tortoises lately.
Galapagos?
I want one that would just walk around my place, though.
They'd probably shit everywhere, too.
I know. I'm thinking about how bad that would be.
I knew somebody in California who kept one out in the backyard.
Imagine not watching your backyard. It's like watching soup walk around all day.
What?
And I have tons of turtles in my backyard. The turtles are just,
No, forget it, sir. It's just your phone stinks. We have AT&T in the fucking west side of Manhattan.
We gave it a shot. It's not working.
I want turtles. Don't turtles.
Tortoises.
Don't you get icky shit from them?
Yeah, it's nasty.
No, the turtles. You got salmonella you get from turtles.
People hate when I call them turtles.
But you don't get them from tortoises, I believe.
Lizards also salmonella.
They're kind of cool, though. They just walk around all stupid. They lift up on their dumb, fat, unbending legs.
One of the greatest things I ever saw was 2 giant Galapagos tortoises fucking at the San Diego Zoo. It was one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen.
How big do they get?
They're like an ottoman, you know. They're big, and they live to be 125 years old. And it was just like one animal. He was up on her doggy style, and she was walking, and his neck was as far out of the shell as he could get it. And he was like, he was having
the noises they make.
Yeah, it was just crazy. There they are. It was exactly.
He's getting some turtle pussy.
And it was watching all the parents try to get their kids not to look at it.
Camera.
It was just really.
Yeah, most tortoises live 80, 90, 100 years.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Is this one where they make the good noises? There's turtle or tortoise videos out there where they're having sex and the noises are hilarious.
I'd love to tip one off. Like, this thing's about to blow a load. See turtle jizz.
Flip him on his back.
Imagine if they shot a load that actually filled the turtle's hollow and he fills it with cum.
Right, here we go. I think this is the one that
makes some noise.
Oh, yeah. Good for him.
These are little bitty ones. I had the big ones at the zoo. He's knocking on the door.
Yeah, and she's like, come on, cut it out.
Yeah, that's just
see? Oh, wow.
Never gets old.
He's probably telling me we got to get the camera out of his face. Yeah, I'm losing my erection. Get the camera out of here. Oh, she's bored. It's like every girl I've fucked. I'm having a ball and she's dozing off.
Can't one female animal look excited when they're having sex in the wild? Yeah. They just lay there.
They all look fucking either forced or bored.
Right.
I love it, man. Big day.
God, this guy fucks a while.
I want to hear the final.
Yeah.
There it is.
That was it.
That was it. No, there's more.
That was the famous. Wait. Don't move.
Yeah. Right there.
I want to hear the turtle version of Now Get Out.
It's coming.
That's it.
Oh, they stopped it.
That's it.
I get a rod. Anybody else? Can you own a Galapagos turtle as a pet or no?
You can. I don't know if it's legal or not. But
are you interested now that you've seen that video?
Well, yeah. Can they walk around? I wouldn't mind that. You throw that thing in the yard.
The Herman
fucking dog biscuit out of here, stupid.
I've been studying tortoises a little bit because I'm really thinking of getting one. And the Herman tortoise, I think that's the one that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Are they good winter animals?
They want to hibernate. I've learned that, too. They really want to hibernate. I think the Herman tortoise just continues growing, and they get giant. So if you buy one of those in the pet store and it's all cute at first, those things supposedly get pretty big.
How big do Herman tortoise get?
Yeah, bigger than the Galapagos? I thought they were
No. But, I mean, this is one you could actually buy in a pet store.
So this is don't bring the little potbelly pig home because he's going to get 300 pounds if you're not.
The Herman tortoise, does it say how big it gets?
That's Herman's tortoise. It's what his might be.
Herman!
Yeah, 6 to 9 pounds. 3 to 4?
3 to...
kilograms.
They can get up to 11 inches.
No, that's not all right, but that's not what I was told in the pet store.
Now, maybe it was a different one.
Maybe it was a different one that says that it gets big, like 2 to 3 feet across.
Oh, shit.
I want a giant
across,
turtle.
Something like that.
You could ride
Would
him
they
around.
bite me in my house or no?
If you put your dick
Travis
in its mouth.
says yes.
We used to have a turtle. We bought one of those little, like, dollar turtles down on Canal Street.
Yeah.
And so we put it in a tank, and then they'll grow to the size of the tank that you have. So...
If you keep increasing the tank.
If you keep increasing the tank, it will slowly grow. Bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually we had to get rid of it because we just didn't have the space anymore, and it's a pain in the ass to clean those tanks.
Why?
Because they shit in them, and you have to put new water in all the time. So you've got to drain the tank and then put more water in the tank.
Okay.
It just becomes a pain in the ass.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
They bite, though. I was saying, do they bite?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, absolutely.
He wasn't friendly?
No, it's a turtle that spends its entire life in this tank, and then when we take it out, the only time we would take it out is when we would have to clean the tank.
But I mean, a dry turtle, like this guy's walking a fucking tortoise.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty cool.
I'm sure it's like any other pet. If you give it enough attention, it'll be nice to you.
Reptiles are weird, though.
They are weird.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, did you have a turtle or a tortoise?
Turtle.
So a tortoise is maybe that's more of an outdoorsy, dry thing.
You know what? I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
You want an animal that you can walk.
Yeah, like
really
this kid's
slowly.
riding the turtle.
Yeah, that looks like...
Yay!
What kind of tortoise was that? One man and his pet tortoise. All the videos we watch, we tweet out.
Oh, let me see that again. What are you doing?
He's in Tokyo.
I got a turtle mask.
All right. One more call, then we got to take a break before our guest gets here.
Oh.
From the Hateful Eight. Fine movie that...
Walton Goggins, yeah.
Yeah, he's coming in. The sheriff. Let's say hi to Bob in Kansas City. Bob, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, boys. You're talking about these parrots that you feel sorry for. I was about 10 years old. My grandfather had an African gray. Name was Pepper. I believe the bird was about 12.
Oh, my God.
Old.
Pepper, that was the name. I had a dog. I used to live in Concrete, Washington, and I had a dog named Pepper, and I would walk him all the time. That's so cool.
Are you doing this boy's life? I got it when you said Concrete, Washington.
Of course, I had to. Otherwise, it would be too weird. I fight for the pink team. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, Jimmy. So his wings hadn't been clipped or whatever in a while, and he's got it out there, and he lived on a lake. He's got a deck, and he would take the bird outside when the wings were clipped and, stand on his arm, his shoulder, whatever, and his wife's telling him, oh, you haven't clipped this thing in a while, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, Pepper's not going to go anywhere. Literally, the minute we opened the back slider door and went outside, boom, fucking gone, bird gone in the air. Grandfather's crying. We searched for like 3 hours for that thing, and it just flew off. So these people that think these birds love them, but it's not.
Yeah, the first chance they get,
the minute Pepper had a chance.
Why search for it? Like the thing is telling you, I don't want to be around you fucking assholes anymore.
You got to catch it with a net.
I was 8.
Yeah, let it decide if it wants to fly back to you.
Yes. Stop it with your fucking birds. It hates your guts.
You can't search for it. It really wants out. All right.
I'm punching out, boys.
They should stop selling birds.
Let's. We have to take a quick break before Walton Goggins comes in here.
Okay.
From Hateful Eight, the Hateful Eight.
Yeah,
right?
such a good film.
Vic Henley is here. Plug in
live from Lou's Cruise. Download that. Buy my thing.
Yes, that's how he makes his money.
I've been making some cash. Yes, please do.
And Jim Norton's got all sorts of dates.
Go to Birmingham.
Alabama this weekend.
Birmingham this Friday, Saturday. I got Tampa coming up. I got Scottsdale coming up. Everywhere. Chicago. Just go to my website. My whole tour is on sale. I think Long Island is sold out. There might be a few. There was a few loose seats.
I love the Paramount. You doing the Paramount?
Yeah,
I love the Paramount. Yeah, it is. I love the Paramount.
God, I love
it's
it
fabulous.
There. Good for you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
All right, we will be back.
That's a good hillbilly name. That's a damn good hillbilly name right there.
Walton.
Yeah, Walton Goggins. My name's Walton Goggins.
You saw the Hateful Eight?
I've not. I'm way behind on everything.
Oh God, you didn't see it.
I'm not going to wait in New York City 19 hours in line and buy my ticket and camp out and act like it's a Star Wars thing.
There's Walton. What's up, buddy?
Hello, sir. How are you?
What's going on, y'all? How are you?
Good. I got to ask right away because I just someone sent me a picture from your Instagram. Did you take a private plane here?
Did I take a private plane here?
I see a picture with you and Kurt Russell. What looks like a nice little private jet.
That was it was a nice little private jet, but it was a much shorter distance, man.
Oh, okay.
From London to Paris.
Because
you had to make the time. We had a schedule to keep.
I hear you.
Yeah.
We all saw the Hateful Eight and loved it. Absolutely.
Not me. I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's amazing.
Well, fuck this. Is over.
You don't need to be here.
No need for the interview.
You kind of don't need to be here. We talked to everybody already. You're like the last person.
How many people have you talked to?
We talked to Bruce Dern.
You talked to Dernsey.
Who else? Jennifer Jason Leigh.
She came in?
She came in.
Kurt Russell, yeah.
With Kurt Russell.
And you finally made it down to Chris Maddox. Like, who's the last motherfucker? You got 8 to choose from.
We're not going to get Samuel Jackson, I don't think. We had him once on the phone, right? Didn't we have him
I
once
don't even
for
remember.
something?
We may have, yeah.
Yeah. We talked to so many stars, we don't remember if we had
I can imagine
Jackson.
what you do every day, isn't it?
And Tarantino, he's always such an interesting...
we had Tarantino, of course.
But he wouldn't, the only thing he'll talk about anything, but I wanted to really get into his foot fetish, and he really just didn't want to touch it, which was very odd to hear him not want to talk about something.
He talked about it before on our show.
Did he? I don't remember, okay.
Oh, yes, he did.
There you go.
But not this time. He shut Jimmy down.
My memory stinks.
He wasn't going to talk about feet with you.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't talk about feet with you either. I'm kidding.
Do you like them or not like them?
Well, are we rolling?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. There you go. Well, they're a necessity.
Yeah.
So I do. I have a fetish with my feet because it allows me to walk.
Oh, your feet, yeah. I had a girl suck my toes recently. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, really?
I liked it, yeah.
I've always liked it.
If I asked my wife to suck my toes, man, she would tell me to fuck off.
You can never ask a girl to suck your toes. It's one of those things that they just do in a weird moment if they're inclined to do that. Like, you can never go, would you suck my toes?
Yeah, you can.
Right.
You totally can.
Not
you can just say that. Like,
in the
right
tub. Let's say you're in the tub. They're nice and clean. It's bubble bath. It's time.
Right.
You're both, you're at one end, she's at the other.
Right.
So
you have asked.
I like it. It feels good. Totally.
I don't give a fuck about feet.
Yeah.
I don't want them all twisted and shit, but besides that, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't care about feet. It's not a turn on for me.
I don't even know what fetish I have anymore, really, to be quite honest with you. I've been with my wife for...
How long? I was going to say.
11 years we've been together.
There you go.
And, and I have I'm obsessed with my kid. I've got a 5-year-old. So he just turned 5, January 1st. So, which is really
What's his name? Does he have a crazy Hollywood actor kid name?
I don't know if it's a crazy Hollywood. You'll tell me, I suppose. Right. Augustus Somerset Goggins.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
That's strong.
I was going to say.
He's going to be a writer.
I was going to say Augustus Caesar, Somerset Maugham. You get a little.
Well, look, man,
that's powerful.
Goggins is fucking.
That's true.
Tough,
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's hard to kind of like, what do you get with Goggins? You know, so Augustus Goggins.
Yeah. That's a strong name.
It's strong.
I like it.
It's strong.
Yeah, it's better than Larry Goggins.
Larry Goggins.
Nothing wrong with like Lawrence or Larry. My grandfather was named that, but still, it's. I don't know, man. Augustus Goggins seemed to.
Gus Goggins. I'd have a beer with Gus Goggins.
I don't know, man. Because there's some, and this is not against anyone who has the nickname Augie.
Augie, my son.
Yeah, but that was kind of the conventional thinking. It was Augustus, and that's what people will call him. And I said, no, it's not. Like, who laid down that law?
Yeah.
So I mean, I call him Gusto.
I grew up.
Gusto.
Gusto's nice.
That's good. Exactly right. Yeah.
I grew up with an Augie. It's okay.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah. No one thought twice about it. We called
was
him
Augie a big drinker?
We were kids. And
right.
Then,
you were kids. Yeah. So was he a big drinker
or something? Because I think by the time we were in junior high, Augie was gone. So I don't know whatever happened to Augie, and I haven't thought of him until this very moment. But we did have an Augie growing up in the neighborhood.
You could find him, I bet. With all these computers you have in this room, I
don't know his last name anymore, though. Whatever.
Jack Goggins was a redneck ne'er-do-well from my town. I'm from Alabama. North Alabama. But there was always, don't listen to anything Jack Goggins tells you.
There you go. Those are my people. Put a Goggins
The Goggins.
Yeah.
You were great in the Hateful Eight when you show up. My God.
Hey, thanks,
what a great character. How was it working with Quentin?
I think most actors would characterize their career as before working with Quentin and after working with Quentin. You know, he's a very, very special auteur, and it's invigorating, man, to be around somebody that is that enthusiastic and that talented, and it's heady, you know, because it's insecure making the first time, you know, at least for me anyway. I was riddled with a lot of anxiety because it's not just Quentin Tarantino walking in the door. It's Quentin Tarantino and his canon of films, you know, but he very quickly kind of levels the playing field.
What makes him so special?
Well, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, as an audience member, as a fan of his work, I think it's his unconventional way of telling stories. I mean, he really,
his character development's second.
Well, yeah. You know,
love his characters in his movies, but I mean, you working for him, what makes it such a unique experience?
Well, I think. Again, to follow up with what I was just saying, it's you know, to be around somebody who, well, first and foremost, I suppose you have to start with his dialogue. I mean, nobody writes dialogue like Quentin. He's a lyrical poet, and so any actor worth his weight in salt, when they see this on the written page, when they see these words on the written page, it's like alchemy. I don't know how he does it. He brings it from his imagination to the page, but you just can't wait to get your hands on it.
Were you involved wasn't there an initial table read, and that's how a lot of these things leaked? Or weren't they talking about doing that, or they never wound up doing that?
No, yeah, we did it.
Oh, you did? I mean, in front of an audience, or no?
Yeah, in front of an audience.
It was,
yeah,
okay.
At a theater in downtown Los Angeles, and we had I guess it leaked before that. You know, I was not involved really at that part of the process, but you know, Quentin kind of took back control of his narrative and had this stage reading in downtown Los Angeles, and most of us were a part of it for like 1,600 people. And it was an incredible evening. We didn't know that it was going to go past that, but it's electric, you know. Yeah. When you're in a space that is full of a bunch of diehard fans of any artist, I suppose. But we didn't know that it was going to be that big. Mm-hmm. I think all of us thought, wow, you know, we're going to get together and we're going to get to read Quentin's words. You know, is that going to be in his living room? But no, was it going to be on a stage with a couple hundred people? And no, it was on a stage with 1,600 people. And when they do that, you don't even know it's going to be a film at this point. Where do they sit you guys? Are you guys all facing the audience, or are you in a half a circle? Or no. It was we were all on the stage, kind of facing the audience, and it was really just kind of like a workshop, really, for Quentin to kind of hear these words and for him to celebrate him. You know, I don't think it's ever been done before, quite like that, where a director kind of put out an unproduced work and had it read on stage, kind of that way. Yeah.
Could you get up and move around? We got
up and moved. We got up and moved around. We had 3 days of rehearsal.
So it's a good show to see. I'm saying.
I mean, it was a very cool show to see. Bet, right? Yeah. We were, we had like 3 days rehearsal before we went up on stage, and I mean, I actually only had a 2 days. Because I was out of town working and flew in, and it was that moment, before you walk into that room where you have to just kind of catch yourself and catch your breath, because on the other side of that door is Sam Jackson, and who's a buddy, thank God, and Kurt Russell and Tim Roth and Michael Madsen and Bruce Dern, and you're like, oh, okay, here we go, and then you walk in, and then Quentin looks at me and says, so we've done everything else, you're up. This is you right now. Let's go. And again, it's just that moment where you catch your breath, and Sam, who's a good buddy of mine, just leaned over and said, "You got this, motherfucker." It was great, man. And then
that helps. That certainly helps.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, we're on stage in front of all these people and reading these words that, look, whenever you get an opportunity to say his words, whether you're regurgitating a monologue from another movie, right? Alone, or you're in your car or whatever that is, or you're listening to a soundtrack, or you get a chance to say them in front of the man. It's pretty exciting.
Were you guys, ignorant question, were you guys holding scripts at this point? Like,
we're up, we're holding, we're looking and reading the words off the page. I mean, we only had 3 days and it's 154 pages long. Yeah. So, it was hard to be off book, for that, but, it was on the other side of that. It was electric. It was like being shot out of a cannon. And then at the end of it, it was a standing ovation. And I think that part of the rehearsal process, coupled with that reading, convinced Quentin to make it. really happy that he did.
Is he that way on the set? Is he kind of, some directors don't say anything and let you do it, or does he jump around and say, "Ooh, tell you different directions, encourage"?
Well, I think he hires actors that come in with 80% of what he hears in his imagination, or 90% maybe, and then it's in that last 20 or 10% where the magic really happens.
Sure.
And he loves actors. He fucking loves them. And because he is one. He is an actor, and he loves story so much that for him it really is kind of a celebration of storytelling. He has a way of contextualizing. It's like for you guys here, if somebody were to come in and every single day, there you go, and contextualize your place in radio, and like, well, okay,
it's easy. It's called the bottom.
Well, there you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. It's so. You know what?
I want to get a better publicist.
It's comforting to me that no one will ever hear this conversation.
Nobody. You're
fantastic.
Fine. You're totally
great.
fine.
It's so great. My mother won't even hear this conversation.
You could actually share your foot fetish if you wanted to.
Yeah. No, but it's true. It's, Quentin has a way of contextualizing, your experience and putting it in the history of cinema.
Yeah.
Because his cinematic acumen is so deep. Yeah.
I've said this to everyone that's come in about this movie. It's a little over 3 hours, and the time flies by, and it's pretty much 2 sets. That's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah, man.
The characters and the dialogue hold your attention big time.
Yeah. And he, it's a 70 millimeter camera. I mean, these are images that haven't been seen in 50 years. Yeah. And he turns that, he said this before in the press, but, most people, would use a 70 millimeter lens to shoot landscapes. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, I'm going to use it to get inside of a person and to see what they're thinking, to hear what they're thinking, to feel what they're thinking.
Right.
And it worked. I mean, we were all blown away at how big this image really was and how much of the room that you could see.
Absolutely.
Depending on what lens he was
using.
And
the landscape shots were just ridiculous,
fucking ridiculous, man.
Who drove the stagecoach?
Are the guys just in James Parks, mate? James Parks, who plays OB in the movie, and he's worked with Quentin a couple of times. His father is Michael Parks, and he's just an amazing actor.
He was in that Kevin Smith movie, right? Red something.
Red Redemption.
I don't know.
Red something.
Red State.
Red State, right?
State.
Yes.
Red State.
Michael Parks, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Michael Parks, yeah. But his son, James, it plays OB in this movie, and he's just a giant talent, and he worked all summer. He worked like 2 months learning how to drive a 6-horse team, which is a lot.
Well, that's why I'm asking. It's not something you could just, go off on a weekend and do
especially not in the snow.
No.
On the side of a mountain.
No.
It was pretty intense, but he did a great job and
looked like he's done that his whole life. That's why.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it's so believable.
Yeah.
I bet the insurance companies are shitting their pants on that. What the liability for the actor? Well, we gave him a class. He worked on it for 6 months. Yeah, but it's still snow and a mountain and an actor.
Yeah. I asked because they didn't puss out either. With, movie magic, you could go, all right,
sure.
Do it 10 feet. We'll make it look like you've been riding for a mile or whatever. I mean, the shots of it, the stagecoach are pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And him riding it, whatever.
What'd you do before you acted?
What did I do before I acted?
What kind of job?
I went to school. What did I do? Well, you know what, man? I did it all, man. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and I started. It was different. It was a different time when we grew up. I started working at 13, man. The greatest job I think I've ever had. Maybe it's all been downhill from here until this point. Until today. I was a DJ at a skating rink.
That's a good one.
14,
That's a good one. Oh, yeah.
Paulding County,
that's a
Georgia.
solid job for
man,
a
14-year-old. Free suicides.
I know we're Paulding County, Georgia. Dallas, Georgia, Paulding County.
Yeah, we had Roxanne Shante.
Oh, wow.
I used to spin records, man. I had my own little fucking raps. I was like, come on, everybody, and grab you a date because the next dance is couple skate. I had the whole thing. And when you're 14, when you're 13, 14 years old, you're the DJ of a skating rink. That's a big deal,
That's
man.
a good gig.
That's a good job.
Yeah.
Better than a paper route.
Before that, like I worked for these guys in cement, like these guys mixing cement for these guys that laid rocks. And, you know, I mean, summer job. It was 3 months.
Georgia.
Yeah, man. 13 child labor laws. No one gave a shit. Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, a girl from, man. It's what you do.
A girl from my town married somebody from over there. Like, we're never going to see her again. She went to Paulding County, Georgia. That's it.
That's it.
She's never coming back.
What happened? You're missing the big question. What happened to Roxanne Shante? That's where I want to get back to.
Hey, man, that was
she was very
night.
Popular for a long time.
That was a great night. Yeah, they took me off the out of the DJ booth at that point.
Yeah.
And they put I don't know, I guess their top star, and I was so disappointed. But I got to be there and I got to see the concert, and that was it was very cool, man. It was in 1985.
Yeah,
when it was all going off, man. When it was all happening, and then you moved to Los Angeles, and I just didn't work in a restaurant, man. I couldn't for some reason I couldn't do that, and so I started a Valley Parking business.
Oh, wow.
You know, and we didn't make a lot of money, but we had our freedom, and we had a few, 3 or 4 restaurants, a couple of parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sold cowboy boots.
Tony Lama's
Thieves Market, yeah, like all of them, man. Lucchese's, all of them.
Justin,
I could just. That's a foot fetish, right?
I was just saying, why would you pick a man's boot?
Right? Yeah,
you should have got a woman's.
Yeah. Well, I did that too, man. Boots, you know, yeah. And it was a time in Los Angeles where the line dancing was a big fad, and then I personal train.
Okay.
Yeah. So before, back when for LA Fitness, and myself and 2 other guys were like the first trainers, I think, in all of LA Fitness.
Wow.
And we went to them and we said, listen, we want to pay you some money and to let us train here. And they said, well, wait, you're going to pay us money? I said, yeah. Is that, can we just pay you a little bit? We have our clients. We can kind of come here. And they said, yeah, absolutely. And then the rest is history. We started all personal training all over the world.
No, you're ballsy,
in
though.
every country all over the world.
That's probably why he's a good actor, because you're ballsy. Like, you took risks starting your own business. You took risks walking into LA Fitness and going, I want to bring people here and give you money. So when
I don't know. I think you guys live in New York. I mean, you're not from New York. I'm not sure where you 2 gentlemen are from. But
my risks are all condom related.
Every one of them.
No, but you're like, I was 19 years old when I moved to Los Angeles, man. I had $300 in my pocket.
So when did the acting hit? What was your first big hit?
Well, I mean, I started doing that in Georgia before I left.
Right.
And,
but you weren't getting any action in LA at first, I would assume.
No, I did, actually.
Oh, you
I was
did?
very, very lucky.
Between these jobs.
Well, I did a big movie of the week in Georgia called Murder in Mississippi. It was really kind of like my first thing with, like Jennifer Grey and Tom Hulse and Blair Underwood. It was kind of it was a big deal. And I did a few jobs in Atlanta, and then I had an agent when I moved to LA, and I just worked. The only reason that I worked these other jobs is because I'm smart with my money. I put all the money I made from storytelling aside, and I figured that there would come a time when it would just kind of make sense not to do anything else. And then so I spent the better part of my youth in class, 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then working these odd jobs. And I did that for a number of years. And then I did The Apostle when I was 24 years old. And that was really kind of it. It's like, okay, no, I got this now.
How big was your role in that's a Duvall
Robert
movie.
Duvall, right?
Well, obviously you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
I've seen it. I've seen it. It's wonderful. And you were great in it.
Thank you very much. No, it was Robert Duvall, man. He's one of my heroes, and it was a big role. Bobby wrote it and he directed it, and it was kind of the role of Sammy, which was kind of his right hand man. And
it's great. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Thanks, man.
It's absolutely
It was a real spiritual kind of transformation.
Is the Murder in Mississippi? Is that the one where they killed the federal judge? Is that what that's about?
I think that might be Mississippi Burning.
That's
right?
the civil rights. Yeah. The one you were in, can you remember? There was a...
No, it was about the 3 slain civil rights workers.
Oh, yeah.
The same subject?
It was, yeah. But I think it kind of came out before Mississippi Burning, but it was, it was, I don't know, 8 Golden Globe noms.
What character did you play in that one?
I played this, did you like the name?
I remember the Mississippi Burning
show. His name is Lyle. No, I mean, this was, it was a completely different. I played Lyle. I was Lyle.
If you push any actor, they can pull it up.
Yeah,
they will pull it up.
Go back. Lyle.
He got it.
Yes, Lyle. No, it was,
there was Lester. I didn't remember.
Role. Yeah, it was a really good role, and represented kind of this changing ideology from in the South at the time, and it was you do what you have to do in order to make a living, early on, and then eventually, hopefully, you get the opportunity to actually say what it is you have to say, if you have anything to say.
Who taught you to be good with money? Because, like, for me, it was my mother. Like, she was really responsible and smart. Like, my father would just spend everything he had.
Didn't care, right?
Yeah, and if I listened,
spend it.
Yeah, but my mother was more like save. So it kind of like it taught me.
How'd that work out for you? Did it hold? Did it take a hold?
You know what? It did. Mother taught me a lot of things, and that was the most important lesson. Pay into your mortgage. Don't be a foolhardy.
That's right. Yeah.
However, she didn't teach me about prostitution, unfortunately. So a lot of money has gone there.
It's gone.
But she's been. She was the one who kind of showed me who, save up your money. Or were you just smart with it, or did somebody teach you?
No, my grandfather, my father's father actually was very, very smart with his money, and he never made a lot of money, but he did okay, and that really helped me understand kind of the value of things, and I like nice things now. I like really nice things, but I tend to live below my means.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
that's the smart way.
I'm amazed by people who go broke, who make millions and just go broke. They're completely ridiculous.
It's usually a rapper or an athlete.
Yeah, rappers go pretty fast.
They just assume their career is going to last forever.
Yeah.
The big money's going to keep rolling in year after year.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't
for
happen
anyone
in any discipline. No,
absolutely.
No, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't happen for a plumber.
No.
Gotta
be smart.
I have a contractor who's unbelievable. And, but, I mean, it's not going to be able to do that forever, man. Mm-hmm. Those kind of jobs won't be around. And
I hear we only have a minute or two left. Which
1 minute? 1 minute?
Oh my God! 9:27.
Why is this has flown by?
You guys,
it's crazy.
That's what we hope for.
So what do we do something profound in this last minute? What do we do?
Well, I got one. Are you really the sheriff in the Hateful Eight? Are you really the new sheriff?
Oh, look at there. After reading the script, Quentin came outside. I was at his house, and he said, "So." After hearing me say, "Holy fuck! Oh my god! Oh my god!" for 3 hours, he came outside and he said, "So?" And I said, "Mate, I have one question for you. Am I or am I not the sheriff of Red Rock?" And he looked at me and said, "I need for you to answer that question, and I don't want to know your answer to that question."
Come on. You guys are crazy.
So here's the deal.
Fabulous.
And a year and a half, mate. In a year and a half,
you guys are
every
crazy.
person that I've sat down with has asked that question, except for one person, and that is Quentin. My wife doesn't even know if I'm the sheriff of Red Rock.
You don't even.
I know.
So you answer.
I know.
So you answer that question.
Absolutely.
But you will not tell anybody that, including your wife.
Why?
Quentin told me
Why
not
would
to.
I do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely
Quentin
not.
said no.
Why would I ever do that?
You got to tell your wife.
Never. No.
Here's the thing: he's tried to tell his wife, she didn't care.
Tell your wife everything except if you're not the sheriff of Red Rock.
You're right, though, Jimmy.
Yeah, he probably one day said, I'm ready to talk about it. And she's like, you know what? I like the mystery. And then she left.
Because she was busy doing something else.
She was ready to suck his toes.
Yeah, yes.
That is so weird. So you've answered that question, but you won't tell anybody, including your wife, and Quentin doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
That's so fucking strange.
Yeah, there it is, man. It's like what's in the briefcase at the end of Pulp Fiction.
I was going to say, it's very Quentin-esque a little bit.
That's right.
Totally.
Yeah.
But for him to have the balls say, you have to answer that question, and I don't want to know the answer is
perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
Quentin, yeah.
Well, the movie's so good.
Yeah, we loved it.
Beautifully shot, and the dialogue is amazing, and it's brilliantly acted, and it's awesome. I saw it over the Christmas break, and it's just a great Tarantino film, and you're great in it.
Thank you.
You really are.
Great.
Thank you, gentlemen, for
come back and see us, Walton.
Yeah,
Walton Goggins.
I'll do. Well, this. We'll come back in maybe with McBride because I did.
Sure.
This,
you're doing the HBO series.
Yeah, Vice Principals. Yeah, we just did 2 seasons, but we did them back to back, and it's a fun.
Yeah, all right.
Go see The Apostle. Go find The Apostle if you want to reach back to something wonderful.
Like you.
Yeah, Norton.
I've seen it. I just didn't remember.
It's so good.
That baseball bat hitting scene.
Wasn't that unbelievable?
To me, was the greatest breakdown. Just come home with me. Just come home with me. And then when she only hits the guy, like that to me was such an uncomfortable breakdown of a person.
It's Bobby Duvall.
Really great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Bobby D. All right,
Bobby
gentlemen.
D.
Thank you so
much.
Walton.
No, thank you, man.
Walton.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back. Yes, Guns N' Roses. They're finally doing it. What is it, Coachella, Travis?
Yeah.
They're doing a little Coachella action. Guns N' Roses confirmed a headline Coachella. Confirmed 2 headline Coachella. Slash and Duff both involved. So pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to get to drum.
Yeah, Steven Adler can't do it?
I doubt it's going to be Adler. And I don't know if Izzy's going to do it either.
Oh, why?
He's super, very quiet. He's very isolated. He hasn't done a lot since Guns N' Roses.
I did not know that.
He's done a few shows throughout the years with Axl. They're on good terms, I know that. But I don't know if he's going to, do... He might do Coachella, but he might not do, a tour if they tour after.
I had no idea. I didn't know Izzy was kind of quiet.
I went and saw, when he did that in the Juju Hounds, I went and saw one of those shows back when he did that little project. But that's ages and ages ago.
Yeah, he's very...
They'll have Steven Adler there, though, right? They'll give him a tambourine or something.
Goat toe.
It'll probably be
put him on the goat toe.
I'll tell you, we've been lucky enough over the years to talk to just about all of them. Well, the only one we haven't was Axl. But Steven Adler is the best. He is just the best.
I walked in the VIP room at their peak over on the west side one time years ago, and literally looking for the bathroom. Stepped in, they're all in there. So I was stuck my head and went, "Oh fuck, this is not the bathroom," and back out immediately. About an hour later, down on the main floor where there was a live band playing, Axl walks over to me and goes, "Hey, wasn't that you up there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "What was that about?" I'm like, "I was looking for the bathroom. Obviously, you guys were not in the bathroom." And he goes, "Most people would have tried to come on in there." And I'm like, "I'm not in the band. Why would I bother you?" And he goes, "Hey, that was kind of cool." And for the rest of the night, before they left, when I'd see him across the bar, he was always giving me the cross room, like, "What's up, man?" And my friends are going, "We left you for 10 minutes and you met Axl?" And I'm like, "I guess so. Sometimes Forrest Gump comes to life."
That's pretty cool.
No, it was really the most bizarre thing to see him across the room walking around, and he just kind of gave me the head nod, like, a lot of people wouldn't have done that. That's what he said before he walked away, because a lot of people wouldn't have done that.
Nice. Walton Goggins was great.
Very nice guy.
Yeah, totally.
And fucking terrific.
Georgia boy.
His eyes in the Hateful Eight, holy shit. Gets a lot done with those eyes in his acting. They're very intense.
Yeah.
What else is going on? What haven't we hit on? The Obama.
Well, how about Obama? What's Obama doing?
The executive action on the gun control thing has got everyone in a tizzy, huh? Both sides are.
Yeah. You know you're doing something right if you make everybody angry.
Oh boy, everyone's just like. I don't know the first thing about this shit.
What's going on?
I just don't.
With the guns and what's going on with that fucking armed takeover? Is that still happening in Oregon?
It's still happening.
They're telling them to go home.
How is that?
They're like, just go home.
Just let them sit there.
How are they not just going in? If they did they just take over a federal building?
Yeah,
no, is it a federal building?
It's a federal wildlife.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a building that just kind of no one's.
But
really
if any other group did that, wouldn't the cops be fucking raiding
Christmas
this already?
holidays and nobody was around.
Yeah.
Like let's just say that was a group here in New York. Took over a fucking building?
Well, it's officially a federal building, but it's not like a federal building how you think of it as being. It's just it's in the middle of nowhere.
It's a wildlife building.
Yeah.
There's nobody in there. I don't think they're really itching to get it back.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's a park services or something like that. Maybe
yeah.
Something
It's technically a federal building.
But the bottom line is, if anyone else did that, the cops would just go in there on principle and get you the fuck out.
Oh yeah,
sure. Especially after they say like we're willing to kill and be killed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, oblige. What the fuck you doing?
No, I like leave them alone on that one. I disagree. I'm like, then fine. Then sit there. Just do nothing.
Yeah.
Just do nothing.
Have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because if it was another group, they would fucking probably.
Oh hell yeah!
Go
If it was,
in there and get
I'll flip back over to that. Yeah, if it was 5 black guys, they're saying
Well, that's
something.
the angle a lot of people are taking. Could you imagine if it was black guys that took over a federal building?
Yeah, honestly, they probably would go in there and get them out.
The building is in the middle of nowhere. That's
Black guys wouldn't fuck with wildlife building, though. They'd probably.
No.
Yeah.
It has a bench press. I saw it on the news. You could get some chest.
There's a gym in the building?
No, just a bench press.
Oh, that's it?
Yes.
Just one of those?
In the middle of the room.
No kidding, really?
That's what I saw. That's what I know about this story.
There's a bench press.
People are tweeting me going, "This is a big story." I don't.
You know, it's not really.
You don't think it's a big story?
It depends. If you read that big headline, it looks scary. But if it's just, a bunch of idiots.
They're pretty much telling them to go home. I mean, they certainly don't want bloodshed out of this. That I know for sure. So, what else we know about it? I don't know. I'm not up on this one.
I don't either. That's why I was kind of asking.
Two ranchers.
I really am not up on this one.
2 ranchers did a controlled burn.
They walk into a bar. Oh, sorry.
No, I know they burned what they thought was their land, and then the fire spread into some federal land, and that's the problem. And 2 of those guys have to go to jail for that.
Right.
And they're like, fuck that. That's not right.
Yeah.
Well, why don't they think they should now? Are they really jailing them for something else, but they're just using this? Like,
no, they're saying it's arson because it's okay to do a controlled burn on your property for whatever reason.
And they reported to prison yesterday.
Yeah.
Was it a genuine mistake that it went over to federal land?
Well, that's the question.
Yeah.
So that is the question.
And how much land burned?
Well, they're claiming, the locals are claiming they warned them not to do that because it could get out of control. And if it jumps over on federal land, now you're going to get yelled at for arson. And they're like, well, you know what we're doing.
And how much federal land burned?
Oh, I don't know. Not Australia.
I think it's the size of Rhode Island.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
It's okay. All right. I thought it was like a leaf pile.
No, it's
big. I don't know.
It's big.
600,000 acres.
People ask why we didn't comment. I literally didn't know much about this one.
I really don't know. But, I mean, the beauty of a radio show like this, call up and help us out, educate us. Because I don't know much about this one. You know, I'm a little confused by it.
Yeah.
I saw the workbench, though, the bench press, so.
The militiamen press standoff at the Oregon Wildlife. Yeah, I want to kind of know what was going on.
Well, the phones are ringing now, so we'll get somebody.
Somebody will tell us what's going on. I would like to know.
They will help us through this one.
You know, it's always nice to ask for help.
Why you got the Megyn Kelly clip up, Paul?
Huh?
The head rancher.
Oh, wait. Yes.
The head rancher?
The head rancher guy was on with Megyn Kelly last night doing an interview.
Oh, okay.
And what happened?
She kind of made him look like an idiot because he wanted to ask her questions, but she turned it back on him.
Oh, let's listen to this. He's the spokesperson. I know that, too. He's the guy in the brown cowboy hat that's been all over
He's
the
the
news.
spokeschap.
The spokeschap.
Thank you very much for being here tonight. So, how is what you are doing not lawlessness?
Well, I think that we have to go to the supreme law of the land to answer that question. And that is that the federal government does not have authority to come down into the states and to control its land and resources. That is for the people to do. And that is clearly stated in Article 1817 of the Constitution.
But you know the argument on the other side, which is these ranchers, whom you support, but you're not directly involved, had their day in court. And they were found guilty, and it went all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, which denied their appeal. Isn't that the way it's supposed to work in our country when it comes to the rule of law?
Yeah, well, let me ask you, and I'm sure you know the answer, but who was the plaintiff?
Keep going.
No, I'm asking, who was the plaintiff?
Oh, the government?
Against the Hammonds.
I'm waiting for you to make your point. Generally, I don't answer the questions on my show. I ask them.
Oh. Well, I mean, it was asked.
Could you pause?
Wouldn't they be the plaintiffs? They would be the plaintiffs.
I mean, what is she doing there? She doesn't know the answer, you think? And
I think it's the government, or she's like, why is he... But I think she should have answered there. Like, that's a little snotty.
Why isn't she answering?
That was a little snotty.
Maybe she doesn't know officially?
Yeah, maybe she didn't know officially.
And then now she's spinning it? I don't know. Seems
yeah, that was
weird.
A bit snotty of her, but... God damn, she looks great on TV. Holy shit.
So it's way better with the short hair.
Yeah.
Get
so
the
wait,
short hair, Megan.
Who was the plaintiff? Was it the government or the state? I don't know.
I don't know enough legalese there. You were throwing around all the jargon. I was going to say, you were throwing all the jargon around there.
Where's my lawyer talking we needed?
You think she's bleeding in this clip?
I don't know. She might be. A little cranky.
Why do you lower your voice to answer that?
Cranky.
Yes. Just go with the Trump thing, because, you know, this is the one he was talking about. Bleeding from her eyes and what did he say? What was the official quote? In other places, yeah. Push play.
He answered, but the plaintiff is the federal government.
Okay.
And yet, they're also, the prosecutors are the federal government. And those who want their land is the federal government. And those agencies that have been oppressed.
Pause. I know more about the story. Just hit me. The government was trying to buy their land, too. Wanted to buy their land or
Did
something
not know
like
that.
And they were like, fuck that. No, we don't want to sell our land to the federal government.
Fine.
I think that's part of the story, too, right? And they're calling it a land grab. They thought it's more of a land grab going on.
Okay.
All right, push play.
The people here are the federal government. There is no proper redress because the design of this structure of this government is not intended for the federal government to come down against individuals in a state on these matters, and that is what this is all about.
What your brother Ryan apparently told the Oregonian, Ian, I think it's Colgren of the Oregonian, that you are willing to kill and be killed if necessary here. Do you agree with that?
That statement was taken way out of context. I've already talked to my brother about that. And no, I wouldn't agree with it because it wasn't his statement.
So you disavow that. You will not let this come to violence.
Well, I have a family. I have 6 children, a beautiful wife. I have a wonderful home. I have a business, several employees. I'm not here to die. I'm here to defend my freedoms and my liberties. And will I? Yes. But it's not going to come to that. There's good things that are going to come from this, and things are going to get straightened out. And that's what we're here, and we're confident that that is going to happen. And it'll be a benefit for many people across this nation. And I can pass a lot of what I've enjoyed in this life onto my children.
Well, Mr. Bundry, thank you for being with us tonight.
I didn't think she made it look stupid. I thought it was pretty. He came off okay.
He went back to nice Mormon now. I bet you his name's Ammon. That's one of those Amish weird Mormon. When he said he's got 6 kids, he switched back to the good Christian in him. Started getting him.
But he didn't sound. They didn't sound like zealous or
stupid.
crazy.
No. He said he acted like he was ashamed of his brother for saying the crazy statement.
Yeah, it was a dumb statement. Okay.
We got Seattle. This is our choices: Seattle, Missouri, or North Carolina. That could help us with this story.
I would always say go with Missouri.
Missouri?
In matters of guns.
Wow, okay.
Definitely not Seattle.
Definitely not Seattle. That's a good point. Greg in Missouri. Go ahead, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
The real rub between these farmers and the government is between them and the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management. There's been a large amount of land that has now become federal land. So the government has either been buying and or taking over through the eminent domain, but mostly buying up large parcels of private land that have to control with water, irrigation, and agriculture. So these guys have been holding out for years and years and years and won't sell off any of their parcels. So the reason that they burned onto the government land is everybody around them had sold to the government. So this is turning into you can't make us sell basically deal. It's kind of a big dick contest.
Well, let me ask you a question, but why'd they burn onto the federal land?
Yeah.
Okay, they were burning weeds that were sucking up the nutrients, depleting the soil. So they were going to burn off all these weeds, and it was a relatively small fire that got over onto their side. I mean, it was maybe 30 some odd acres. I may be wrong.
It says 140.
But okay, so 140.
That's a lot of acres.
That's a big difference.
All the reports that I've read that they, the farmers and their helpers, all put the fire out. No federal firefighters or anybody was called in on that. So they're using that as
an excuse.
As a tactic. It's a strong arm tactic.
Yeah.
So basically, they were burning something on their own land to help the soil.
It's controlled burn.
Fire gets out of control accidentally. They put it out, and the government's using that to fuck them.
They were just waiting for them to fuck up
so they could get their land.
So they could grab the land.
Okay.
Exactly. And the flip side to this is the government had done a controlled burn at one point in time, and they had to actually start a backfire on their property to go towards the government land, which it didn't encroach, but so that it wouldn't come onto their property.
Why does the government want that particular land? Do we know?
Filled with resources is what he said.
Water and resources.
Water and resources, okay.
Yeah, water and agricultural resources.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to dig real deep through the story. There's a lot of layers there.
Okay.
But there's a reason they want that land. You know what I mean? If you got to do the follow the money type deal. But that's pretty much the
Okay, yeah, because, you know, apart now I'm kind of on these guys' side because I like the balls they have. Because the government really seems like they can just do whatever they want, and it's so scary that they can just overtake your thing, and you can never beat City Hall. And then here's these guys going, go fuck yourselves, you're not taking our stuff.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, guess what?
What?
They're still wrong.
The guys are.
I mean, yeah, in the eyes of the government, not in the eyes of the people, but in the eyes of the government.
Well, let me ask you.
That's why the whole backside of the story has to be exposed.
Well, I want to know the court case because if the Supreme Court the Supreme Court has definitely said no to the government before and has definitely said no to power, government power increasing, and they've made some decisions that the government certainly didn't like. So what is it about their case that the Supreme Court either didn't want to hear it or denied it?
There has to be pressure from the money side of things for the resources available. there's another, like a third layer to this, to where it's almost your conspiracy people saying, the government's trying to buy up all this land. That way they can control agriculture, growing, you know what I mean? Some of these bigger things. That's kind of the underlying factor. Besides you can't make us sell what we bought and worked for.
Okay. They're saying it's rich geologically. It's a copper, mercury, uranium, silver, gold, natural gas, and oil. Not just agriculture stuff. There's resources.
Yeah, and I've even read that the Federal Game and Fish Commission are involved, so they're trying to play that card as well as far as environmental impact too. Things like that. Farming's hurting the silverfish that lives under a rock on their land or something.
Well, what were they doing with eminent domain? Like, what were they saying they needed to put there where they were the eminent domain?
Yeah, you got to give a reason why you're taking it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't read anything where it said eminent domain. All I have read and been able to find out is that the other people have sold large amounts of land to the government, and they're just simply refusing. See, the dad was the one that was back in the news, several months ago, for the first standoff. That's the dad.
Yeah,
in
I knew that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just been a long-going deal. It'd be worth digging into the further deep into the backside to see. But you follow the money. There's something going on there.
Okay.
All right. Wow, thank you, man. We picked the right.
It seems to think they're cattle farmers and they just want to keep it nice and run their cows and do all this other stuff.
Exactly, and be left alone.
Can we at least go to Seattle and see?
Absolutely.
I think we picked the right place, though. Greg in Missouri, thank you for your call. Let's go to Dan in Seattle. Dan,
good morning, boys.
How right was Greg in Missouri?
He's about 10% right.
What did he get wrong?
Okay, here we go. This whole thing, the people that took over down in Oregon are part of the sheepdog militia out of Phoenix, Arizona. What they're grandstanding is their Second Amendment right, and they're also platforming on the BLM because the BLM took property in Nevada on the Bundy Ranch in 2014, where the Bundys took a stance. They fought the BLM. The BLM backed off because they wanted to take some of their property.
So the BLM did try to take some of their fucking property?
In Nevada, yeah.
Well, why? Why did the government try to take some of their property?
Because of the cattle, because of the mineral rights, because of the water rights that were running across the Bundy Ranch in Nevada. Now, the Oregon, there's two people, the father and the son have nothing to do with the incident in Nevada. The father and son were arrested for arson for burning off part of their property to cover up a crime scene that they illegally were hunting on federal property, so they started a fire to cover up the crime scene.
Oh, okay.
So from there...
So it was not an accident?
I wasn't there, I guess.
But let me ask you, what crime scene could there possibly be in the woods that they're trying to cover up? What, a footprint, or you left your orange hat somewhere?
Well, I mean, if you're hunting wild game on federal property, and say, maybe you shot an elk or shot or whatever, and you necessarily, you let the innards or whatever lay out in the federal property, they could track it that way.
Okay. All right. But what's a bigger crime? Hunting an elk or fucking burning federal property?
Well, see, that's the issue. Well, see, that's the point. It's, this whole thing in Oregon is just a backstory for this sheepdog militia out of Phoenix. These guys were just up in Seattle because one of their people got involved with a weapons charge, and they were up here grandstanding at the federal building and were thrown out of the federal building. These sheepdog militia are not a bad militia because they were down in Phoenix and they were fighting for the homeless veterans that people were stealing their cell phones and stuff.
Okay.
So they're
sheepdog.
not necessarily, sheepdog militia. You can look it up on the internet.
All right, sheepdog.
So the same people you're seeing on TV down there were the same people that were up in Seattle here about a month ago. So they're making it. If you notice that, if you watch all the news clippings, the first thing they pull out, is whatever president, I think it's Jackson, whatever, the Second Amendment right, and they throw it in your face. But that's why they all carry guns. That's why it makes a bigger issue. Now, in Oregon, what happened was they tried to rally the troops down there, which means rally the citizens of that town. They said they had 150. Well, it ended up being 25. 20 of them were actually from Phoenix. So,
yeah, I love that. I always love it when you're trying to get the locals rallied up and then your crowd has been bussed in from 2 states over. Yeah. That's always really good.
Well, who's right in the standoff? Is the militia right or is the government right?
Well, what's like you said, the government really they don't want another Ruby Ridge. They don't want another Waco. So they're going to let this play out. It's property that doesn't mean they have a little fire, like a tower for fire watches. So eventually these guys are going to peter out because it's just, it's one of these things that's caught the news, and the government right now don't want another Ruby Ridge or a Waco. If they go in there, they know that these idiots, because the majority of them are, they're these the sheepdog militia, the guys who are patrolling the borders down in Phoenix, trying to stop illegal immigration. So, a lot they're pretty fanatical, but their big stand is the Bunny Ranch. There's a real good video if you guys look it up.
The Bunny Ranch. They want to get hookers.
The Bundy.
I don't blame them. It's a lot better than sitting in the middle of Burns, Oregon, in 25.
Yeah, and it's a building they're not really using, the government. So
word.
It's a vacant outpost. So
I kind of want to. I kind of want to join a militia.
Really?
I don't know.
I mean, how do you do that? Like,
you wouldn't be a good militia member.
I don't think you would be.
No, you'd be complaining about sugar intake, and they'd be like, "Where's your gun?" And you'd be like, "I ate some sugar. I'm not feeling good." You'd be a very bad militia member.
Yeah, you sure?
Yes.
I want to pledge. Do you pledge militias?
Sure, I'm sure there's an oath. And
how's
you get
the
some
pledging?
patches and
does the
stuff.
pledging get a little rough?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can. You can join. I'm sure. I mean, they'd even let Jimmy in as much.
I was in one.
You were in a militia.
That's right.
Which one?
Fucking the North one.
Well, there's probably a lot of them.
Yeah.
Can you tell us which one?
Nope.
Why?
Just ran around with guns, taking land.
Saving
people.
Saving people.
Yeah.
Wow. I think he's probably in the Prairie Dog Militia.
Well, look, there's the New Jersey Militia.
There's one in every state.
The Civic Militarized Force. That's a national militia.
Yep.
Man, I want to pledge.
If you look these guys up, the Sheepdog Militia, especially at the Bundy Ranch, they stood up to the BLM, and the BLM backed off. So that's what gave these guys some sort of their own personal credibility.
And they're guarding the border. I think we saw that in what was it, Cartel Land? That was the movie, right?
Yeah.
Was it Cartel Land?
I think so. About the group that fought the cartels. Yeah, I think so. The documentary.
And
really
that was the Sheepdog Militia they showed in that movie, probably.
I thought they were the Arizona something. No,
I don't know.
The Arizona, I don't think it was a sheepdog.
Okay.
I don't mind the sheepdog because the majority of these guys are Iraqi war veterans, so that's about their only
beautiful
have.
Right.
But they're all standing for the Second Amendment right to bear arms.
Okay.
And that's their grandstand. So now, and if you notice that anybody that's attached, like these two gentlemen from Oregon that are now in jail. If you follow the news, if you watch the news, which is 50% accurate, everybody, these two guys distanced themselves. And the last statement that the guy made, the old guy made, is that I'm not associated to any type of standoff or militia because he's got to go back to prison, and these guys here are basically grandstanding on this guy's platform. Now he had to go back to him and his son went back to prison to serve out their minimum mandatory 5-year sentence.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they thought the sentence wasn't harsh enough. That's what happened. They served their time and then came home, and then I think a judge or somebody stepped back in and said, no, you weren't there, and sent them back.
Wait, is that what's going on?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, so they're fucking with them.
Yeah.
Judge Akins out of Eugene, Oregon is the one that sent him back.
See?
How the fuck can you send them back if they already got a sentence?
Because they're fucking with them.
Point.
They found a loophole.
I'm on their side. I mean, to me, I work for the federal government. It's kind of like double jeopardy.
I agree. Yeah, I'm with him. Yeah,
that's double jeopardy.
Once you come home, you can't.
Well, they should have made that decision before. That to me, I don't want to say the same thing he did. That's jeopardy squared.
Times 2.
I think Seattle had their shit together.
I think so too. I apologize. How about North Carolina?
You want to go North Carolina?
I don't know. That's maybe North Carolina will have some wisdom.
We'll meet in the middle between the other two guys. So let's go talk to Greg in North Carolina.
Hello, Greg.
Greg?
How you doing, boys?
Welcome aboard this crazy ride.
I don't think it's going to be as crazy as you think. I catch a lot of shit from my buddies around here.
Lucky dog. I've always had it fall off my chest. Go ahead. What's going on, Greg? Sorry. Oh, God.
Well, the thing is, I worked out in Oregon for a few years.
I've tried it, dude, but I was too tired after the flight. I'm fucking bombing. I'm sorry.
It's late in the show.
I'm tired.
You can always tell when it's late in the show.
Buddy. That's all right, buddy.
All right.
I worked out in Oregon for a few years, and well, first of all, the thing is that you got to remember about Oregon is there's out in this part of Oregon at least there ain't no woods, right? It ain't like it is in the rest of the United States. It's all sagebrush desert.
Can you prove that?
And the second thing you got to remember about this place is that wildfires get out of control real fast. I mean, during the summertime. It don't take nothing but a spark from a chain on a truck going by on the highway to start a fire that turns into thousands of acres. Right. So they ought to know as ranchers that fire ain't the way to control weeds out here, and you sure as hell ain't going to do it with just a couple of guys and a blowtorch. You're going to have fire trucks out there. You got to have all kinds of people ready to dig fire lines to keep the fire from going in different directions. So. And the Seattle guy that was on just a second ago, he had it right. They were doing illegal poaching. There were people that testified in court that they were illegally poaching on federal land. And when they got caught, they started up this fire and said, "Oh, we were just trying to control weeds."
Let me ask you a question. What is when they make a fire line? Is that wider than one shovel worth? How wide do they make the fire line?
Well, I ain't a firefighter, but I imagine it depends on the situation. You know, the winds out here kick up like hell and can carry all kinds of fuels from one place to another. Mm-hmm. It don't take nothing but an ember on a breeze to jump across the fire line. Oh. But, yeah. So, but anyway, they these guys, and the Seattle guy was saying, and the guy from Missouri too, was saying, all you got to do is look into the news story and look into the history, and you see what's going on here. You know, these guys ain't angels, by the way.
Right?
They didn't. They ain't angels. These guys was taken to court. I don't know if they was arrested or what, but they was taken to court for child abuse.
Jeez.
Wow.
They for one of their boys in their family got a tattoo in town. They brought them home and took a belt sander to him.
See, yeah, that's the old religious angle.
All right, but that's the shitty parents. But that's not.
There it is, right there. There it is.
Okay, fine.
Wow.
But again, that's irrelevant to this case, even though it makes them shitty people.
That's true.
Go after them for that, but not.
That's on the Daily Beast. We'll tweet that out.
How could the judge make them serve their sentence? I don't get it.
He might have saw the belt sander footage.
So you know what happened there? You know what happened there was that the local, I don't know if it was state or county or whatever that originally made their sentence didn't abide by federal minimum, didn't abide by the federal standard for minimum sentencing for arson.
Oh,
he took it upon himself since it was on federal land. He's a federal judge.
I'm gonna stand with you there. I do think it's kind of fucked up that they waited till they didn't serve their time to do that.
So you're saying that basically, how much time did they do?
I don't know. I don't know.
2 years or something?
Something like that, I think, yeah.
And he wants them to go back because the state sentenced them according to the wrong guidelines?
That's what he's claiming.
That's what I understand from reading all about it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Ain't no problem, boys.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Wow. All right. We know a little more about it today. That wasn't a kid, by the way.
No. What do you mean?
Well, I said child abuse.
As a teenager.
I'm thinking I'm going to look at a 7 or 8 year old.
No. They wouldn't tattoo a 7 or 8.
No kidding. But they use the word child. I mean, that kid.
Yeah. Well, he's underage if you're under 18.
Yeah, you want your money back. You buy them videos, all of a sudden it ain't who you thought it was.
What?
That kid's driving.
That kid looks like he's in his upper teens. 16, 17 maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
That was exhausting, but I think we know a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad because, initially you look at it and go, okay, fuck these guys. Then you go, no, they're right. And then you go, fuck these. I don't know who's right. I just don't know.
I think the government is fucking with them.
I think so, too.
That's what I think. The little I just learned about it.
Government fucked with me one time.
Yeah?
Yep.
What happened?
Just for things I was saying were too powerful. They were sending agents to spy.
Can you give us specifics?
Just talking about fucking government. Yeah. Saying they're making everything happen. Illuminati. They sent people after me. Shut me up.
But you can't just bring it up on a radio show without details. We need details.
They sent guys after me to monitor me and listen to me. I was just saying things that were just shaking up the system.
Did you have to wear like an aluminum hat to keep them from stealing your thoughts?
No, because they've learned to tap into the aluminum.
The aluminum.
That's right.
All right.
Tinfoil hat.
Okay. I think that's it. Everyone wants in on this. There were 2 different fires. I could add to this.
Now, are the Oregon...
You'd be lucky if you saw 5 black people in all of Oregon. That's coming in.
Yeah, let them poach. Let them poach. Who wants another elk or 2? Let them poach. If they're just trying to put a little meat in the freezer. What
that is true.
What are you really out? What are you really out?
Yeah. Exactly. You know, they're not some cunty dentist going to Africa hunting a fucking lion with a cane.
No. It's some little Mormon family that needs some steaks on the table for wintertime because they're about to have another baby to name Jebediah.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
All right. In other news, Tom Coughlin stepped down.
That's horrible.
Why is it horrible?
I think that
he's a great coach, right?
That's right. Who they're going to get better? Who they're going to get? That's an idiotic move. And if he
didn't want to step down, they gave him that
the classy exit thing.
Yeah, the classy exit.
That's stupid.
They were definitely going to get rid of him. But they said, "Look, Tom, you could do it your way." You got to assume he'll be coaching with somebody else.
I'd take him.
How old is he?
You don't have a team, Vic.
He's almost 70.
He's just coaching you.
No, I've been working on my
drop 69. So I'm not a Giants fan not at all, but you live in New York long enough, you know that this Tom Coughlin is a good guy.
The GM should be gone. Jerry Reese the GM should be gone, not Coughlin. You can only do as good as you can with the players you have, and this is a stupid ass move, I believe.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty. How hard is it to coach football? Make a touchdown.
Right.
Stop those guys. What are they doing? They're trying to make a touchdown.
Right.
There you go. Sit down, relax,
coach. My brother always says, hit somebody. That's all you got to know about football.
I could coach a team.
You can?
Score. Stop them from doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Your job is done.
Practice would be easy. You don't have to learn a lot of plays.
Exactly.
Just tell him that.
Throw it to him.
Throw it to him would be one of your plays.
Run faster.
Hit somebody.
To be a wonderful coach, one of your plays is throw it to him.
Yeah. Get it to him down the field.
2 Super Bowls. I mean, they've gotten progressively worse the past few years. And what are they going to do? Bring in another coordinator and have Eli learn the 3rd system in 4 years, or a whole bunch of other?
Eli, that's the only coach he's known in the.
I think he just had a
NFL,
career year. I think he just had a career year with shit around him for defense. By the way, there's nobody. Your best guy blew his hand off. There's no defense on that team, and so they could have easily they won 6. They could have won 10 or 11 because they lost like 5 games in the last minute of the game.
I wound up. By the way, I got a communique from a police officer who said to me, she said the first judge went against sentencing guidelines. The government appealed and won. So the first sentence was overturned. They get credit for time served and have to do the rest. It happens all the time.
How many more years?
I don't know.
All right.
And how many did they do? Was it 2?
I don't know.
I think it was. I read in one of the earlier stories.
If 5 is the minimum, maybe they're going to get. They have to do 2 more or 3 more because federal time off for good behavior is like you got. I think Kenny has told me you got to do 85%. So they may have to do a total of 2 more years.
Okay. I'm going to have to brush up on this
in the pokey.
In the pokey.
How about sending me some more communiques so I can sound like I know what I'm talking about?
Nothing better than getting a communique that makes you sound smart, right?
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of football, as you wait for that communique, Donald Trump, big fan of the Donald Trump tweets.
Twitter feed.
You hear what he said about the Jets?
No.
You saw the Jets game?
Yeah.
That one still hurts.
That's what you get for believing in the Jets.
The whole organization stinks.
They went 10-6. They don't stink.
They went 4-12. It was a great turnaround. It's a wonderful story.
No one expected that.
That's right. The organization stinks because they always let their fans down.
Well,
they do. I'm serious. They're a cancer, and they always fuck their fans. If it's not the quarterback getting his jaw broken by some guy,
that's wonderful.
It's some shit in that no home fucking field having shit organization. I hate the way they've fucked their fans for so many years. You guys should rebel and stop going until they buy you a stadium. They fuck their fans every year, and they've fucked their fans for a long, long time. They've never got. I know the Cowboys have stunk for a long time, but at least they've had moments of glory.
At least they have a stadium to call their own.
The Jets have been sticking it up fans' assholes for decades.
Since 1970. They won the Super Bowl in '69, and it's been 40 years of shit.
Get a fucking stadium, you cheap cunts.
And I don't care what they say. That is Giant Stadium.
It's Giant Stadium.
It's still in New Jersey. Buffalo Bills the only football team in New York.
Yeah.
Yes, we know, Vic.
But Giant Stadium is Giant Stadium. The Jets are living in someone else's house.
It really is. I'm with you on that 1,000,000%.
But that,
sure.
they're not going to get another stadium. They're not going to force the taxpayers to, get another stadium going in this area.
Then build it yourself. You fucking stop whoring in somebody else's house.
Well,
annoying.
Then you might like Donald Trump's tweet.
Oh, no.
Yes, what does he say?
Woody Johnson, owner of the New York Jets, is Jeb Bush's finance chairman. If Woody would have been with me, he would have been in the playoffs at least.
I like it. I like it.
Funny, yeah.
Take full credit.
It's just silly. But
yes, no, exactly.
How would he have been in the playoffs?
Right, because he can control the fate of football games. He's Donald Trump.
And Vic, you know a bit about football. What's going on with L.A. now? Three teams are
campaigning. The Raiders
campaigning to go to Los Angeles.
Exactly.
And how many?
Two of them could go. Two
out of the three
could go.
I hope
all
they
three
both
go?
fucking fail.
I don't know about all three, but
what is it? The Rams, the Raiders, and the Chargers.
The Chargers should stay in San Diego. They've always been there. The Rams were in L.A. went to St. Louis. Now want to go back. The Raiders were in Oakland.
Why do they want to go back to L.A.?
Because St. Louis won't build them a new stadium.
That's it.
Why'd they leave L.A.? Why do teams leave L.A. all the time?
Because L.A. wouldn't build them a new stadium. They got tired of playing in the Coliseum. It's a pile of shit. They wouldn't do anything for them. And so they left town. And then L.A. went, oh, fuck, we don't have a team. So then Al Davis went, we'll come down there if you'll fix up the stadium. So he moved the Raiders down to L.A. as soon as the Rams left. Then after 10 years, they wouldn't fix him up a new stadium. So he went back to Oakland. And now San Diego's
so why don't they stop going to L.A.? You fucking deserve it, you dumb cunt owners. Why am I so cranky?
I don't know.
I'm just annoyed.
They're actually saying they're going to give them a stadium, though, right? They're saying they're going to build one.
Oh, there's 2 or 3 consortiums of groups jacking each other off, trying. They can't get to them quick enough. Please come here. Please come here.
Is it possible that all 3 will go to L.A.? The odds of that are slim.
No,
right?
then you'd get into you would be in a sharing situation again, like he was just complaining about the Meadowlands.
But 2?
2 could go.
Which 2 you think?
I don't know.
Cowboys and Steelers.
St. Louis just made got their bid in time. There was some sort of, we're going to go talk to them if you don't at least show us something in writing, and they beat the deadline by a week or so.
They play in a shitty stadium?
It's a dome. It's an inside dome, and the Edward Jones Dome.
What's wrong with the dome?
Nobody likes the domes anymore because of the turf, and it's bad on your legs and blah, blah, blah.
Also, they get away from more the domes?
You can still have a dome, but it's got to be the new cool dome where the roof opens and closes and you keep grass and it's more healthy and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's probably more of a real fancy feel, too. It's expensive. Those things probably cost you $1 million to build something like that.
I just like watching football outside. I
have to.
There's something about that.
Sure.
Playing with the elements.
But the cash, again, follow the cash. The second largest market has not had a pro football team for 20 years, something.
But that's what they get. That's what they get.
I agree. No, I agree. Fuck you. You go to the Dodger game in the 3rd inning and leave in the 6th. If your pitcher's throwing a perfect game, you don't give a shit.
Half of them
not good fans.
Half of them are transplant people from other places.
They're not good fans. I agree. They don't deserve shit.
Fans.
I think
I'm a good fan. I watch when they're winning.
I will sprain my ankle jumping on the bandwagon every fucking time.
I mean, when the weather's so nice, it's just tough. To just sit through a game.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning, too, when the early game starts. So, if you sleep late on Sunday, shit, you've missed the whole early game. Then you look out the door, oh, shit, it's 85. Let's go outside.
Pre-game, 9 o'clock.
Well, sure.
I did the math.
I'm thinking Bloody Marys.
10 a.m. game starts.
Exactly.
10:05.
It's very early.
10:07.
I'm Southern. I got a tailgate.
I hear you. I hear you. What else before we get out of here for the day? Oh, I got this. Not really the big reveal, but I brought the painting.
Oh!
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Really nice.
What is that?
Here, take a look at it. This is my Christmas gift.
Who gave you this? What is it, like the white elephant?
Where this painting I'm going to...
No, he was here before.
What do you think of the painting? What do you think?
This looks like when my aunt took up painting at 87 years old.
What the fuck are these?
Is it seagrass?
What
seagrass?
It's just fucking 3 red lines.
Of course, just little wisp of seagrass.
It doesn't look like grass.
Look at
what it is. It's seagrass.
Look at the magic marker.
In
the
where? Oh, this.
That's magic marker.
Is it magic
right?
marker? I don't know.
Wait, you're onto something. What else does it look like? You said it looks like your aunt at 80 what?
87, she took up a painting class, and it was always seascapes and
You're not far off so far.
What animal made these prints? It was this fucking Dudley Moore. They're terrible.
They're very cloddy.
It could be shells.
I think they're supposed to be footprints. I'm not sure.
It's awful.
It's signed. It's signed.
Yeah,
by
right
somebody.
in the middle of the painting they signed it.
Not down in the corner.
Why not make it skywriting?
You see the signature? It's a little sloppy, right?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Who is it?
It's all Hepburn. It's really awful.
They like giving me paintings down in Philly for gifts. I don't know why. This is my second one that I'm going to have to now drag around for the next 8 to 10 years and never hang up. I got a wedding painting I've never hung up, and I feel terrible. And I feel like I can't throw it away. And now I got to add this to the collection.
This is fabulous.
Why?
It just reminds me of so much.
There's like red lines in it. Fucking doddering idiot.
It's like
did
crayon.
Jimmy's getting mad.
I am getting mad because the person doing this obviously was shitting their pants as they were doing it.
What do you think, Vic?
I like it.
It's not even a good sand color.
It's not good. It's awful.
It's flesh color. That's the same color that the fucking Anglin brothers used to paint the heads in Escape from Alcatraz. Long way to go.
No, I like it, though.
Long way to go.
I
agree.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm with you on that one, Jimmy. I like that.
Doc should have been careful what he painted. Yeah, you're right. There's always a chance some asshole won't like the signature.
R.A. Who signed it? R.A.
I don't know. It's just awful.
Happy?
That's my gift from
Mr. Zimmerman. Who gave you this?
My wife's grandma.
Okay, see.
She's all there. In her 80s, going strong.
Well, that's cool.
I think she's about 82 now. And she goes to an old age home to help out and visit. And one of the residents is a painter.
See? I was on it.
And this particular painting... Are we going to put it there?
That's a good
How
spot
about behind me so I don't have to look at it every minute? I have to look at that?
Oh, well, you know what? We should put it there. I'm going to make this painting really famous. I'm going to get like A-listers to pose in front of it.
That'd be fabulous. I like it.
I like it right into the fucking red firelight. I can just stare at that.
Yeah. And
good. I hope it doesn't
So she goes to this old age home and, helps out.
Somebody gave her a little
How does she help out? She brings cyanide?
One of the residents is a painter.
Yeah, Kevorkian would have helped out.
That painting wasn't for sale.
Of course not.
It was in the gift shop, but it wasn't for sale. It was like behind the registers on the wall, all dusty. And my wife's grandma thought, oh my God, this would be perfect for them. Because they like going to the beach from time to time.
So sweet.
So
It's little old lady gorgeous.
She talked the lady into selling it.
See? That's it. That's the spirit of Christmas, my friend. That is the spirit. Look how much you thought that through. She knows you like going to the beach. Yeah. She conned them out of it at the gift shop. An item not
That's
for
the
sale.
grandmother's story. Here's what really happened. They were getting in the car, and they saw maintenance workers carrying this to the dumpster, like Gandolfini with the horse painting in The Sopranos. And the grandmother went, why are you throwing that out? It's a perfectly good painting.
Okay.
He went, look at this shit. Look at these fucking clumpy footprints. Oh, I know someone who will like this. My granddaughter and her husband. They'll love this. That's why they bought that.
From this far away, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, but
you got to be pretty far away from it.
Yeah.
It comes together a little better.
Yes.
When you're 20, 25 feet away from it.
It does look better from a great distance.
A great distance.
I agree.
Cataracts would really improve this painting.
Right.
I think she used a Sharpie. I guess she's not getting the proper, supplies for painting in a nursing home.
No, she's not. No.
So she saw a Sharpie and...
The red is probably her own blood. One of her fucking awful varicose veins. She sneezed and it exploded.
The browns from her colostomy bag.
Oh my God.
Well, if he's going to open that door.
Gosh, there. So, another painting I got to deal with.
It does look better from afar.
Guy down in Philly, when I got married, he gave me this painting from his brother. It's really nice, but... That's a personal thing, right? When and it's the woods, it's the stream, it's wintertime. It's nice, but I would never hang this thing up. And I've been married 8 years, and I have to drag it around wherever I go. When I move and this and that, it's always in my pile of shit. And everyone tells me you can't throw it away.
Why?
I want to just be done with
You should have
anything.
You have a giant apartment. You should have a little office, and in that office, you should have your. Then again, would you use an office at home or no?
No.
Nah.
Okay, you got to have a room, the guest bedroom, with all the awful artwork.
Yeah, that's nice.
The awful artwork room should be the guest bedroom. All the awful gifts should decorate the guest bedroom.
Yeah. There was a comedy condo in Tulsa for years, and the rule was every week you had to go and add to the tacky pile of shit that was decorating the whole condo, and there was just a million wonderful black Jesus pictures and weird ashtrays. I love tacky
Let's
weird
start a
shit.
gallery in here. Where's the painting going in here?
Right up there, for now, in the corner.
That painting is staying in studio. That's where I'm not bringing that one home. At least I got rid of one.
You
out
can
of two,
throw away
technically.
anything. Why are you afraid to throw away things? You can throw anything away.
If it was up to me,
yes,
it would have been gone 8 years ago.
Well, is your wife saying hang on to it?
She's not. I mean, she's cool about it. It's other people like
trick her. Do the Christmas story. Just wait till she's in the other room and I fell down with this knife in my hand and cut it in half.
Yeah, I gave away a lot of wedding gifts.
I have no problem throwing away anything.
Just stuff that was nice, but I would never use. I'm like, if someone comes over, I'm like, oh, hey, you need a blender or whatever.
I've been doing for the past 2 days in my apartment. I've been throwing shit away.
I throw everything away.
I found some good stuff while I was throwing some shit away.
I need to get. I purge everything.
I try to.
Most of my life, I moved a lot with this radio thing, and everything had to fit in a Honda. It was a Honda Accord. If it didn't fit in the Honda Accord, it was being left behind. When I moved to Boston with Anthony back in what year is this now? 95.
96.
He pulled up with a U-Haul and he saw me smashing half my shit in the front yard.
Of course.
Because it wasn't going to fit in the U-Haul. He didn't give me enough fucking room for my stuff, but I did tell him I didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
So I was smashing glass coffee tables, everything right in the front yard as I was packing.
You got a lot of comic in you, you know that.
Really?
The Comics road car for eternity is the Honda Accord or the Toyota Camry. Mainly the Honda Accord.
Well, this time we had a U-Haul. Usually when I moved, it was whatever I could get in my... but everything ended up on the curb.
Wow.
And I smashed a whole bunch of the stuff because it wasn't even worth putting on the curb for someone to grab.
You weren't attached to it at all. It was just shitty.
Oh, no. It's just, who gives a shit stuff? I can't keep anything like that. Like, he collects charges from old electronics.
No, but I went through recently and threw a lot of old stuff out when I was cleaning my apartment out. And I got rid of a lot of stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I really aired the place out a little bit.
Last January, I threw away 900 CDs. I had an old CD rack, and I had I literally sat there and counted them one day. I'm like, how long am I going to keep this shit?
Yeah.
Well, and I bagged it up and took it to the street.
I threw out
finally.
DVD boxes and DVDs. Like, what am I doing?
Exactly.
Why do I have a fucking, 316 to Yuma fucking 3 DVD box?
All right.
Fucking Yuma.
I got in trouble with that because I did the same thing with my DVDs. I finally said, oh my God, with Netflix and everything else, you don't need a DVD anymore. So I brought them all in, and now Eric is insulted because he's like, hey, I gave you this lost DVD. I'm like, yeah, well, fuck, I don't care. I'm not going to use it.
That just shows you what a wuss he is.
So now he's giving my DVDs away on his radio show.
That's fine.
And I'm just signing them.
That's good. Fine.
But, I mean, you don't need DVDs.
No, I love Dazed and Confused, but I don't need the 25th anniversary special edition with extra... No, I don't need any of that.
I'm looking at my CDs.
No, exactly.
I'm looking at my CDs. I think they're going next.
Oh, you did mine
went last year.
There's a few in there, though. I'm like,
I've got it all backed up. Yeah,
just
I made
back
sure.
it up and fucking throw it in.
I did the same thing. No, I made sure I had it all, because it was I love music, and I played stereo
just upload them instead of buying them, but you can upload them to your fucking collection, but then you don't have the artwork. I like the artwork.
I love the artwork.
I was throwing my wife's DVDs away, and she's like, that's mine. I'm like, I've been with you 11 years. You've never watched it.
Yeah, you don't need that big fat Italian.
If you haven't watched it in the last 11 years that I've been with you, then you know what?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not watching it.
There's a rule. A decade, then it's out. If you haven't watched it in a decade, it's out. That's a fair rule.
I said my big fat Italian wedding. I meant Greek.
Either one.
I'm glad I don't know that movie.
I walk around my house with a garbage bag when everyone's asleep. This I get. And I just, because you don't understand that having kids, the stuff that piles up.
Sure.
The stuff I throw away while they're sleeping. And every once in a while I get caught and they'll ask for this. I'm like, I didn't think you really wanted that anymore. Fuck. Yeah. But in general, I make the right decision. And I'll fill up a whole fucking garbage bag while they're sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
And that goes down the chute.
Fine. That's good.
Goodbye.
I like it. No, I have no problem with throwing shit away.
But anyway, the painting is now online, so it has become a little more famous.
That's right.
A little more famous today, because if you go to, Opie and Jimmy on Twitter, there's Vic Henley holding my Christmas gift. That's a horrible angle for the painting.
Yeah, that's not a good job.
There's no good angle for that painting.
That's true, especially me. Take me out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. She listens to the show every day. Thanks for the gift.
Well, yeah, I said it's a lovely, adorable, wonderful grandmother gift.
And look, it'll be in the studio now, so it's
perfect.
nice.
It's fine.
That painting is shit.
I love that he knows his role. He's rock solid.
That
painting is rock solid, consistent.
Why are you holding back, Jimmy? Why are you holding back? It's the only thing. There's only two things that my wife's grandparents do. They go to Atlantic City and they listen to this radio show.
They're very lovely people.
So why are you holding back?
What's her name?
They should know that painting is awful. And the people who did it were not talented painters. They were not good painters.
You think it's a group effort? It's not just one artist.
That's an end of life painting. They're
in a nursing home.
I used to be vital, and now I'm not painting. That's not a good painting. People have to be told. The intention was lovely. It was a sweet gift.
A sweet gift. All right,
but it is a shitty painting.
Hey, Paul, if you're getting a proper picture of the painting, you send it to me. I'll tweet that out.
Yeah. Put it on its fucking face and then you photograph the back.
Take a picture of the back of it.
Exactly.
Norton.
Or take a picture of a sneaker going through it.
Can I bring the other painting in here, too?
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to start a gallery of all my shitty paintings.
That'll at least get it out of the house.
Actually, the other one's not even shitty, but it's not my style.
Yeah.
My buddy, I
don't even know what my style is with paintings, but I know that's not it.
A friend of mine years ago, a radio guy, ran into a local artist, and he goes, "Dude, I've done a painting of you." My friend got tied up in the conversation, ended up agreeing to buy it without asking how much it was.
Right.
Dude showed up at the radio station, gave it to him. Heinous picture, cost him $300.
Oh my God.
Same thing. He's been dragging this fucker around for 30 years, just because out of obligation he feels bad.
Can I give it back to the person? But then that's an insult, right?
He can't do that. You can throw it away then.
But supposedly he does well in Philly, this artist. I don't even know his name. Supposedly he does well. He sells some of his stuff.
Okay, right. There's a guy in my town that does pictures of raccoons. He's making a fortune, too.
All he does is raccoons?
It's wildlife. Otters. He may throw an otter in every now and then. I'm serious.
I got to go get my teeth scraped, so we got to get out of here.
Do you really?
Get the gas.
Yeah, I got to go get my teeth cleaned.
Do you go to the same guy I go to?
Probably. We have all the same people.
Building.
Yes.
He's good.
He's good.
I get him to clean my teeth. He whitens my teeth.
My guy's
I might go for whitening today.
Yeah. But it's hard after you clean it, though, because it hurts a little bit.
It's going to hurt for like 12
hours. Not bad,
hours.
though. I don't mind that little ping.
But it's that ping of pain that just when you can't take it anymore goes away. It's those quick...
I'm telling you, get the gas. Get the gas.
Nah, you don't need it for a good cleaning.
Just for fun.
Do you go to the... what nationality is she? She's from the Caribbean. She's...
The one who cleans, who actually does like the fucking... Yeah, his assistant?
And she has no problem telling you what's wrong with your mouth. While she's cleaning it, I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, she said something to me once. It was weird, and she's like, "Your friends may not know what you put in here, but I do."
It's a big dent in the back here. Got a fucking pothole back there. That's hilarious. All right, Vic, come back and see us.
Hey, I'm here. I'm doing nothing. I'm here for an exceedingly long time, except working these city spots. I'm doing the Cellar in Gotham and comic strip. Live from Lou's Cruises. Download the CD Live from Lou's Cruises.
Cool. Tweet that out for the people. That's how Vic pretty much gets paid around here.
Sometimes.
So if you at least download his CD from his
somewhere on there, I don't know.
CD,
you can it's CD. Just
it's
download
a CD.
It's just audio.
Yeah, please do that. Even if you're not going to fucking even listen to us,
you can just. Yeah,
it says sold out.
That's if you want to buy the hard copy one. I discovered about a few years ago there's iTunes and Google Play and all that shit, so you get about the same amount of cash for being able. You can download it anywhere.
If you enjoy Vic Henley on our show, just do that, even if you're not going to listen to it.
Yeah, that one. The other one's illegal. Stay away from redneck license.
And you can't get that off your...
No, you can't. Somebody else owns it. I sold it to the dude, so that's my shameless whoring from 1988.
Don't get the other
1988.
One. What's the one they're supposed to get again?
Live from Lou's Cruise.
And we'll tweet out that link.
Yeah, there it is right there. Bang.
All right.
I'll be in Alabama this weekend, my first time ever. It's Hoover, Alabama, the Stardome.
The Stardome.
And then I got Side Splitters in Tampa, Scottsdale and Louisville. And by the way, people have been asking me about the Montclair. There are tickets available at the Wellmont. There was something with the site where it was showing only singles. It's selling very well, but there are some tickets available. The site was fucked up, I think.
Okay.
And I believe Long Island is sold out, and there's 2 shows in Boston. One was at. So just go to my website. I'm appearing everywhere.
JimNorton.com. We'll see you tomorrow with, oh no, it's going to be one of those days tomorrow. Bob Kelly and Rich Voss.
And David Cross is in tomorrow?
Fuck, yes.
David's in tomorrow, first time.
Yes.
And who else?
That's it.
Okay, the 3 comedians.
So we don't even have to prepare for tomorrow.
No, you're fine.
My thing is when Bob Kelly and Rich Voss are in studio, I just make sure I wear a good shirt.
Bob's Thursday.
Bob's now Thursday. I thought they were coming in together.
No, he had to, something with his kid. He had to switch.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's good. Gives me another day to prepare. Because Bob will just stare at you and he'll find his angle.
Dude, you look like my aunt.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's over.
My Aunt Peggy.
I made the mistake of wearing the wrong shirt in here once, Vic.
Didn't you used to put your pseudonym at the Cellar was like his stepfather that abused him or something?
One of the guys who had
what? You didn't know that?
I used a fake name at the Cellar at one point, and this probably 5 years ago.
I was hosting one and I went in, I'm like, who the fuck is?
Yeah, the name. I'm not going to say the name.
Okay, all right.
But the name I used was one of Bobby's stepfathers who he said would always beat him. So that was what I used as a fake name at the Comedy Cellar.
I came walking in when I'm like, who's Russell Jackson? And they're like, that's Bobby Kelly. That's just Norton fucking with Bob Kelly. That's his stepdad.
God,
he used to beat the hell out of him.
Fucking hilarious.
I know. I loved Norton before that. And then I found that out. I'm like, he is a genius.
Right.
He is a genius.
Just because stupid. I had to go in there every night and see that name on the list.
I thought it was Wonder.
And he knew it was me, but he twitched every time he saw it. Good. Oh, okay. It's just Norton.
Jimmy goes, good.
I know, right?
Oh, wow. They were on the Today Show, huh?
But they said that the Making a Murderer creators were contacted by the juror who believed that Avery was framed. But it's probably that dismissed juror.
Yeah. I don't have time. I would stay. I got to get my teeth cleaned. But we'll do it tomorrow. I'm sure that clip will be everywhere.
And I got an email I forwarded to Travis, a guy who knows a reporter, whose brother's a reporter, and that's how we might be able to talk to him tomorrow.
Great. Yeah, we're all about Making a Murderer. If you didn't listen earlier, we discussed it for like an hour today. And
we're helpful.
We'll discuss it more. I think Voss is watching the thing, so we'll get his 2 cents on it tomorrow. All right, we're out of here. Thanks, guys.